Saturday morning. We're here. Poseidon's queer. And he's in the corner. Okay. Welcome, everybody, to the morning show. 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Over here on a Saturday. Let me introduce you guys to my partners in crime this morning. First up, from YouTube's Phil My Hole. It's my co-pilot on this just thing, Phil Balabanos.
I salute you all on this beautiful Saturday morning.
Welcome, Phil. And in the other corner, the recesses of the internet, the scourge of my existence, Poseidon.
Hello, and good morning.
How you feeling this morning, Poseidon? Always in delay. Your hair's fucked up.
Why am I in delay? My hair's fucked up.
Yeah.
Really?
That's per usual.
Why are you doing this to him now so
early?
It's
become par for the course with you, really. You look.
Oh, that's disgusting.
This is how I seduce the ladies.
You showed them someone else's photo. So, guys, good morning. Thank you to everyone in the chat. I'm surprised people on a Saturday don't want to just chill. They want to watch this. But maybe this is the chill show, guys. Maybe this is the best way to relax on a Saturday morning. Who knows? Point is, we've got the news. Without George this week. George is busy doing another interview. He said it was more
he's
important.
With his cabal.
He literally said more important than you and those bitches that watch you guys. So remember that the next time you see George. No, he never said that, but you're not going to start hating George. The executive managers. No, he never, but he has an important interview. So he's doing that. We're here Saturday morning. We got our coffee. Phil's at the studio. We're feeling good. By the way, I would like to make an announcement. Phil told me something yesterday, and I'll tell you guys first. This just thing starts up again next week.
It's true. It's happening. It's happening, and we're changing the format.
We're changing a bit of the format, but it's going to happen.
It's going to happen. I'm excited. Are you excited, Poseidon?
You want to reveal anything on the format change?
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So we're going to, instead of doing one big episode like we normally do, we're going to start splitting it up. So we'll probably pick news from the center of the week. That way we get a better coverage. And that way you guys will get more of this just thing throughout the week. Instead of maybe one long episode, maybe 2 or 3 shorter form episodes, something a little zippier.
Yeah, more of this just thing per week is instead of one episode is basically it. So we're going to try to break it up to more episodes, shorter, quicker, that sort of thing.
Effectively, yeah.
Yeah, that's the goal.
And never a Monday episode. Like we used, I don't know if you remember this. Remember when we used to do the Monday episodes?
Yeah, they were the hardest.
Just never any news.
Yeah.
Like beginning of the week, it's always like a kitten took an adorable photo this week with Karen Johnson. Here it is. And that was like breaking news on a Monday.
Yeah, by the way, that was a long time ago. That was before all the 2020 news. There's news every day. Sir, Seattle has fallen, all right?
Seattle has fallen.
Yeah, so that's news.
Yeah.
Right? But Poseidon, you want to talk about that, so you can tell us right now. What is your update on Seattle?
Yeah, so I saw they closed off a few blocks. Apparently, it's Antifa that closed off a few blocks.
Sorry, hold on, Poseidon. Before you go deep into this, can we just establish, just for everyone in the chat, that you have now become our correspondent on breaking news? Go on.
That's amazing. Go.
You got promoted.
So they blocked off a few blocks.
They blocked off a few blocks. It feels like they're doing what they're supposed to.
A few blocks of the city. Basically, they declared them kind of like
an autonomous zone.
Yeah, autonomous.
I'll jump in every time I feel like your retardation's creeping in. How about that?
What?
Oh God.
What did you say?
So the autonomous zone of Chaz, I believe it's known right now, in Seattle.
His name is
like
Chad, bro. It's Chad.
Where they have checkpoints and with armed personnel, and they have to check your papers when you're going in, and they got to make sure that you're friendly because they have borders. They've also erected walls because apparently that's what you need in a country. You got to erect some walls. You got to have a border. All shit that they were yelling about 2 years ago.
Isn't that ironic?
Yeah, you know the best part is they're also extorting people. They're going around to stuff that's still in that area, and they're saying that they have to pay them.
That was disproven by like 12 major networks last night. But again,
hold on a second. What 12 major networks are there? Name 8 major networks.
not television networks,
If
like
you
news
say CNN,
outlets.
Yeah.
if you say CNN, I
No,
swear to
no.
God, bro.
No, not CNN. I
Dude,
read it.
CNN was
Okay.
getting destroyed 2 weeks ago. They were physically getting destroyed while they're like, these protests are fucking peaceful.
No, it wasn't CNN. I read it on a bunch of online publications, and it wasn't all from one source article. You know how you can always tell when it's all from the same. It's like you read 15 articles, but it's basically the same article. Like
Yeah.
someone's just taken it from the wire. No, like I saw some video footage on YouTube of people talking to local merchants, and
But
they're
what about
like,
the local
it's
merchants
kinda
that said
weird."
that they were extorted?
There were some, but
But
who
that's
was
what. But
extorting
that's
them?
what. But
That's
that's
the
what.
question.
The people that took over, the Chaz people.
Yeah, that's the thing. How do you prove that? We don't know who's actually in charge. They don't have.
Yeah,
any
they have a
kind of
warlord
governing
now. Yeah,
body.
they have a guy that's in charge now. They have a warlord, their first warlord. The black guy. They were showing him on the news. He was declared the first warlord. It took 24 hours for them to have a warlord. At first, they said
What's
everyone's
his name?
equal, and then
All I know about the Lord of War is that he came out and said, "Yeah, it's not me."
no, the warlord never said. The warlord said that there's rules here. He's the warlord. He used to be a rapper. He used to be a rapper, and now
Yeah,
he's the warlord
there
of
was
Chaz.
footage of him policing the neighborhood, right?
Well, there's
Like, don't do graffiti. He was getting people to stop.
Oh, he
doing
got mad
graffiti.
at someone for graffiti too. Yeah, that was the
Yeah,
best.
that's how it started.
Yeah.
I don't know. This whole thing is just, it's Occupy all over again. You remember Occupy?
What, Occupy Wall Street?
Yeah. Well, it became just Occupy because there's not enough Wall Streets, I guess.
Yeah.
But,
But
like,
even
I had
Occupy
been-
Wall Street didn't. Occupy Wall Street was pretty peaceful.
Occupy was but it also
It was
didn't declare
smelly,
itself-
like the park when they took over
Oh,
the.
fuck,
Yeah,
man,
it
yeah.
was smelly, but it was peaceful. They
I
ne-
went down there and I did some interviews in a yurt. Like I filmed people. I was like, this might be interesting, and I got there. I'm like, nah, it's just a bunch of hippies. I'm gonna leave.
I
wasn't
that's what
interested
happens,
at all.
But no, so they're trying to run an autonomous zone. It's not gonna go well because I saw a video of them talking about how we're self-sufficient now because we have seeds, and then someone had to remind them, you realize this is gonna take months to grow, right? I'm like, what? They don't know they don't know what they're doing. They have no idea what they're doing. Tim Pool ridiculed the shit out of them yesterday. He released a video of the stuff they were doing wrong, of like they didn't know how to plant stuff. Also somebody questioned, they said, well, what about the electricity? What if they just decide, all right, you're in an autonomous zone,
Yeah.
we're not gonna provide electricity anymore? And they didn't know what to say. They're like, wait, what? How the fuck does that work? Like, they just stop electricity? Like, they have no idea what the fuck they're doing. But this probably is, people are like, this is the most left, this is the most, no. This is probably the most millennial thing to ever happen. Like, we take it over, but you can't really, they don't know how to run anything. Because personally, I'll admit it right now. If I had to start going hunting or skinning animals or milking them, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'll admit it. I'm not going to start an autonomous zone and be like, all right, we got to figure this shit out. Like, I don't know. I'll admit I don't know how to do
but
this.
don't forget, fuck electricity. They still have garbage collection. If you want the autonomous zone to go away, and I'm not saying it should. I'm just saying if you want it to go away, stop picking up their trash for 4 days in the summer.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, there's going to be a mass exodus. You're going to have a whole bunch of Chaz refugees.
Very good idea. The trash fill. I think that's fucking funny. Just that because it's so simple. I'm just gonna stop doing this, and not even electricity. Just stop picking up the trash. Already there, it's dead.
It's chaos.
Another thing that they can do is they make a deal with China, and they go, look, there's something I know you guys always want to have a foot in on American soil. Here's the deal: we will sell you Seattle. All right, that way it's a win-win because the price of sale is this: you eliminate all American debt owed to China. You guys get to keep Seattle, and the people that are there that want, super communist, they get to be part of the People's Republic. They get to be as communist as possible. See how much fun, see how much fucking fun that is, how long that lasts. And then everybody wins, Phil.
But they're not calling for like a communist republic. They're anarchists.
No, not yet. Yeah, now they're anarchists, yeah. Which never lasts. It can't like you can't build a society on that.
It's because most anarchists who are out there preaching for anarchy don't actually know what anarchy is.
Yeah.
Like they just think anarchy means completely without laws, but that's not really what it is, right? It's all grassroots, small local government.
Well, nothing can. Anarchy is small government. I thought
Anarchy is basically co-ops and small governments, and very on a local level. That's how anarchy works in its.
Because anarchy is not
explanation.
supposed. Just in the definition, is not supposed to have a structure. It's not even supposed to have
Anarchy is
a
not
hierarchy.
supposed to have a leader.
Yeah.
Right. So it's decision by committee. So it's not exactly efficient. But for small scale things like a town, a village, it can be very useful. Like it can work. Large scale like a country, I don't know that I could ever get behind a concept like anarchy.
I can't even get behind a village of anarchy. I don't want chaos.
If you're like 500 people in a village and you all just decide things together, like once every couple of days.
But that's not anarchy.
That more or less is anarchy.
I don't
because
think so.
there's no one elected to take a decision for you.
Yeah, but you're just taking
deciding
one
together.
part of anarchy and you're saying, well, part of anarchy is this, you know?
Yes,
So
it
then
is.
if
Yeah,
you
you're
just
right.
apply, but that's not what anarchy as a whole, anarchy is not what they're like, you can't have any type of structure. It's anarchy. It's just
Anarchy itself is the structure.
we have voting Tuesdays. Fuck no, bro. I'm an anarchist. I don't vote on Tuesdays. I do this. Like, it's anarchy. There's no, you know what I mean?
That's how the words changed in the vernacular of like everyday. Like anarchy has become this like crazy. Oh, it's anarchy, but
That's what it means.
It literally doesn't mean that in its original form. In what it is as a governing system. Sorry, that's not what it is. It's not just fucking balls to the wall.
Poseidon, pull out definitions of anarchy right now. So
Look, if you want, pull up anarchy in like outside of Seville in Spain after Franco. Like they had some.
What did
pretty
they do?
interesting experiments.
what did they
local
do? How long it
co-ops
lasted, and what
farmers.
we could do?
It didn't last. It never lasts. That's the thing, because people are inherently evil.
Well, you need some kind of order. Like the truth is, like I want smaller government, right? But I want
Yes.
smaller centralized power. I don't want one person monopolize the power, but I don't want disorganization. And you know, I don't want fucking Bill the Stoner to be fucking in charge of the electrical company because he's the only one here. Like I don't want that shit. There needs to be fucking there needs to be fucking order. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anarchy is kind of the no. Sorry, go ahead, Poseidon.
Yeah, it's the definition is a state of disorder due to absence or non-recognition of authority.
Yeah,
But-
no,
but
we don't
that's
want
the
disorder.
word as
In
it's used.
society, I want order. I want order,
Yeah.
Poseidon. What happened to Phil? Did Phil leave?
I
Did
don't know. No, I'm still here.
Phil,
you hear me?
look, man, you're taking this Black Lives Matter square thing a little too seriously. I feel like you're ridiculing the thing now.
Huh. Can you hear me?
We get it, Phil. You're not racist. We can hear you.
Okay, so my camera just shut off. Give me a second. You guys continue on the anarchy, and I'll fix
Yeah,
it.
go
I'll
on
be with you
anarchy,
in a second.
Poseidon.
But like you were saying, Phil, you said there's no authority. There's not the one person. But then, isn't the authority everyone's collective, basically agreeing that they're not? You know what I mean? Because
But the reason why Phil said it never works, and he's right, it never works, is because let's say you keep doing that. How's it going to work? Because one day somebody's going to want something, the other guy's not going to want something, but there's no actual order, right? So right now, for example, Poseidon, let's say just because you, let's say, go out, you're like, I think rape should be cool. It doesn't matter what the fuck you think. As a society, we've decided it's illegal, you know? Just because you want it, you can't change it. You know, this is what this society deems legal and illegal and all that. The problem with anarchy is if everyone's making up their own rules, there's no centralized collection of it, you know, unless they agree, right? Which even that, it's still anarchy. They can do whatever they want later. So it's not a form that's gonna stay. Like you can't maintain that. You can't have a country being. It turns into like Mad Max. It turns into all those like Escape from New York. It turns into that in the end.
Okay.
Like just fuckery. And what's gonna happen in the end is that a warlord, is basically the toughest people are gonna come out and start drinking soup from your skull. Right, the strong are gonna always go on top. They're always gonna survive. But no, there's no. I definitely do not condone or agree with that kind of stuff, Poseidon. Oh, there he is. He's back.
He's back.
Where is
Or is he?
he? Point. Oh, there he is. There he is.
Oh.
And
Working.
yeah, somehow it looks a little better, which is weird.
No, so because I'm an idiot, guys, I'm a professional cinematographer, right? Like I wire cameras for a living.
You didn't plug it in?
I forgot to plug it into power.
I've done.
I'm
I'm not gonna lie. I've done that many times, dude. I've
like
done
it
that
was
on the
plugged
studio
in.
during a live stream. I've done it. I'm like, why the fuck dude? One time the cameras weren't working. I couldn't pick the cameras right, and I was like, what the fuck? Why aren't the cameras working? I asked Poseidon. I think he was there that day. I hadn't connected the HDMI cables to the camera, so they weren't even connected to the computer. That's why it wasn't working. I was like, what could
Nice.
possibly be happening here?
Well, no, it was plugged in. So there's a power brick that goes to the cable that goes to the camera. All of that was connected, but so if this
The power cord was
the power cord was just sitting on the plug. I hadn't plugged it in; it was just sitting there. So when I looked at it quickly, I thought it was connected, and it just shut off. Heads up, it might happen again.
Okay.
Because I don't know if it drew enough power to keep running for the whole show. So we'll see.
We'll see. But I've done the same
hopefully
shit.
it's fine.
Don't stress it.
I'm hearing a lot of distortion
Phil,
from you.
Test.
Yeah.
Phil.
I don't know. Maybe it's just.
Poseidon, you hear
speaking
distortion?
Anyways, yeah. So did you guys figure out if anarchy is what we should be doing?
We definitely should not be doing it. I believe our initial assessment of not for us was correct. Definitely, we shouldn't be doing it. And it's kind of like because he went and looked at form of government anarchy, and he's talking about how there's no central order. You could kind of do what, but that's why I said it's the same thing you said. That's why a society can't really run along like that, because at the end of the day, someone's gonna take over. Like right now, they have a warlord one day in. The tough ones are going to take over and drink from your skull the second you fuck around, because that's just the way society is. Like if you're there and you're hungry and you don't know how to farm or anything, and then your neighbor's got food and there are no laws, bro, that guy's survival rate just depends on how tough you are.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, yeah. Like that's kind of why I guess as I get older, I start to lose my like I used to believe in people. I had high hopes for people. But then I realized it doesn't matter the form of government. We all suck. So eventually we're going to turn it into let's, rape and kill people. That's what's going to happen. Let's rape and steal and murder and get what we need, because people are inherently terrible.
No, I don't think so. I think education.
Not all people.
Education plays a big part in it.
It does. But like, how educated are you if you're declaring an autonomous zone that's completely reliant on public services from the government you hate?
Okay, well, here's the thing now. A lot of that, because a lot of those guys are like, what's it called? Political science and gender studies professionals from university. So a lot does have to do with schooling.
Studies.
Yeah, a lot has to do with schooling. A lot has to do with the propaganda in universities and this whole. I don't know when like so many Marxist, professors kind of broke in and became kind of the be all for teaching. Because I remember even me at in Concordia, they were very, very like left leaning, but like hardcore left leaning. Like Marx said this and like stuff that you're not living in that society. The reason why you're able to do what you're doing right now is because you're not living in that type of society. You don't appreciate what you have. It's like those kids that like say their parents get them everything, and then the one thing they can't afford, they're like, "You're such a shitty dad. What the fuck do you mean you can't get me a new car?" Like you're not appreciating what was already given to you, the opportunities you have. You just want, and then the second someone can't give you something, you go the extreme opposite way. Because like right now in Seattle, as much as Seattle sucks, and I say this because my buddy lives in Seattle, so that's how I know it sucks. These people
I've never
don't.
been to Seattle.
I've never been either. No, I'm not gonna go to Seattle, but it's not for me. It's cloudy.
Seems like I feel like I would enjoy Seattle.
You would. You like all that Portlandia type of shit. You like that kind of.
Yeah, I like the West Coast vibe. It's interesting.
I don't like that.
The Pacific Northwest, where the Sasquatch are.
Yeah, it's too depressing for me.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. So that's also why I avoid London. Very depressing. Very depressing.
Yeah, but London has British people, so it's different.
I like the way they speak, but I don't like all the knife crime. So.
The knife crime.
Oh, and the fork crime soon. So, anyways, what I was saying is,
Go on.
That's what it feels like. It feels like we're spoiled kids, and we're like, well, we want okay, work for it. No, like we're very much like that. Like we don't know what we have till it's gone, because we do live in the best times right now in history. We've never, the way we have it in North America right now, no one in history ever had it as good as we have, and yet we're bitching and complaining like we're in the fucking Middle Ages.
I remember, I don't know why I remember this like weird flashback now, but you said this almost verbatim what you just said.
I believe it.
On the first episode of This Just Thing, where you're like, it may not be perfect, but it's the best it's ever been.
It is. That's right? I honestly feel that way.
Yeah.
Because I look back at history right now.
Probably true.
So women, forget not just being allowed to vote, beatings, and you're like, yeah, it's normal. You could beat her up. Fucking dude, black people, Greeks when they came here 100 years ago, how they were treated. Italians, they were treated like fucking fifth-class citizens. Everybody, like, it used to be so much shittier, and everything. We were moving to a progressively getting better and better and better. Then at some point, somebody said, "Not fast enough. Tear it all down." What?
Well, just because something isn't terrible doesn't mean it can get better, right? Like, I'm not gonna pretend like, oh, we got it, we figured it out.
No, but that's what I'm saying. You progress. No, we're never perfect because we're all human, right?
Of course.
So. Like a computer. Let's say Poseidon was complaining about his computer. He's like, oh, it's a little too slow. Poseidon has two options. He could upgrade the computer, or he could set his house on fire. I would I would suggest upgrading the computer instead of setting the house on fire. Why'd you set the house on fire? The computer was too slow, bro. Like, get the fuck out of here, man.
Third option, maybe try and fix the computer, but I guess this is Poseidon we're talking about, so.
Yeah, it's I don't know. So that kind of shit always bug me. But you know what? You live and you learn. I think they're gonna see now. You made the best example with the garbage. I think they're gonna see living like that. Like, I know my limitations. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna go on here and pretend and be like, bro, you leave fucking me there. I'm fucking cooking shit. I'm planting stuff. I don't know anything about those. And I believe that I should know all about that stuff as a human being, just in case I should. But I'm telling you right now, dude, you leave me in the fucking engine of the car is fucked up. I'm like, well, we got to call a real adult. I don't know what the fuck's going on. I admit it.
But dude, we are the real adults now. Like, that's what we haven't realized yet. Like, maybe not all of us. I kind of have because I have kids.
Yeah.
Like sometimes, like things will happen at home, and I was like, "Fuck, maybe I should call my dad." Am I gone again?
Oh yeah.
You're
to us, again. As far as we're concerned, you're representing the black community right now, so it's cool.
Well, I stand in darkness and solidarity with them, I guess.
That's what I thought. Phil does the black square a week late.
It's blackout Sunday after Tuesday's next.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna try and fix it while you guys talk. So,
Poseidon,
go on.
What about you? If you were in that situation right now, what would you do? If you were in the autonomous zone, if you were in Chaz, as opposed to your regular weekends of being in Chad,
I would never go there.
I'm saying you're there now. You live there, right? You wake up, you look outside, and you see that they're basically your neighborhood, your couple block stretch. They're taking it over, and you're just staring at it. You're like, fuck. Like, what do you do?
I leave.
Are you joining them, or are you moving out?
I'm leaving.
You're not gonna stay and fight for your home?
If they have guns and I don't?
Yeah, okay, obviously. You know, you're not gonna be the sole guerrilla warfare guy. That would be fucking amazing if it's just you. Guerrilla warfare is just you dressed like a gorilla.
Just with a fucking gun and I'm going around shooting everyone.
Poseidon, you misunderstood guerrilla warfare. Yeah, bro, I got dressed up like a gorilla. Bro, this is everyone's scared of these wild animals, bro. Don't worry, I got this. It's like, no, bro.
Like, oh my god, we found Sasquatch.
Yeah. Dude, your size. I don't know.
No, but if I had the weaponry, fuck yeah, I would sit and defend. You know, like this is where I live. But then again, I wouldn't live in Seattle, so.
Yeah, there we go.
I'm back.
Welcome back, Phil.
I'm so embarrassed.
So it's okay, Phil. So I think that this is what I can deduce from the whole situation, and I guess the message that we should put across on the internet. Number one, a lot of this shit, the way it works, most of us don't understand how it works. Like, I can't build a cell. I don't know how this shit works. I use it, but I don't really know how it works. So if I would have an autonomous zone and I'd understand how electricity, all that, I'd be fucked. Okay, I admit that. So don't fall for that. We gotta tear down the current system, man. The current system that fucking has electricity and internet and all that shit, bro. We can do it better. You know, that's stupid, number one. Number two, don't fall for the race war shit. This has nothing. The media is trying to always show little things like, well, a black guy did this and a white guy did. No, this has nothing to do with race. No. They're trying to make you think that your neighbor is the enemy because the government is fucking around. That's it. So don't fall for that shit. And, make things better around you slowly. That's always been my thing. You know what I mean?
I got into not a debate, but I was having a conversation with an old friend via Facebook who is like, he's dedicated most of his life to change, right? Like to changing the current system through radical change. And he practiced what he preaches, like respect. Like he can build a cell phone. He can run solar power. He can do all of it. He's a fucking...
To me, that's a badass.
He is a badass. He moved to Crete. He's living on like some land that he bought from the government.
This guy's a gangster.
Like cultivating his own shit and living his life, right? So I told him, I go, look, nothing's gonna change here. He goes, yeah, but you see the potential for how people can act. I was like, look, if you're telling me that this Chaz experiment is a good way to protest and to like put a foothold in and say we're not leaving until there's fucking some change with racial profiling and all that.
But they're not asking for that.
I know. I'm saying if that's what they were doing, then it's a good way to protest because you've taken over something and something needs to give. It's a negotiating point, right? But if you're telling me that they're showing me what the world could be, which is a basically shit-smelling, really hot in the summer, let's all trade beads kind of situation, there's no organization. Sure, it's in the early days. Maybe they will organize. I don't know. I don't think so, though. I think it's going to get hot, and people have been cooped up for a long time, and people are going to start getting sick, and that place is going to clear out within 15 days.
I'll tell you know what's going to be funny is when they realize
I might be wrong.
Their data's not working anymore. They can't use a cell phone. Like, my phone's not working. Well, did you pay AT&T? No, bro, I'm a Chaz citizen now. Yeah, that's how. We don't actually have any cell phone towers, dummy. You got.
I
You know
don't know.
what? You know what I
Yeah, go.
understand about like you see a lot of these leftists, like a lot of these guys. Why, when let's say they say they're very accepting and all this, but as soon as there's an argument or whatever or a debate, they just start
Racist!
screaming. No,
Nazi.
they start. You don't understand, screaming like that. Have you seen
Oh,
those
I've
videos
seen the
online?
screaming videos. Yeah,
What the fuck is
it-
that?
it's the equivalent of yelling at you when they don't have a point and they'll call you Nazi, racist, phobe. But what you have to know, Poseidon, and I've learned this now. I should have learned it a long time ago so I could stop arguing. The second, like right now, say we're talking about this, never mention race. The second someone jumps in, it's like, you're a racist. They say something that has nothing to do with anything. They're just trying to label you. The conversation's over because you know that they lost the conversation in their head. They lost the argument, and they're like, "Oh,
man.
what do I do?" And they'll throw stuff. So the second they say that, you know that you won the argument. You should just walk away because it means they have nothing left. It's like you talking about what we should eat, and then I grab a brick and hit you in the fucking face with it. It has nothing to do with what we're fucking talking about. It's just an attack that goes no. So the second they go to that, you know there's no substance in their argument. You're like, okay, they themselves know they can't argue. They lost, so get the fuck out of that argument.
It's like when you argue with
Interesting.
like a social justice warrior, right? In their minds,
They think they're doing the right thing.
they have the moral high ground.
Yeah.
So the second you suggest anything that doesn't benefit everyone equally, because
Which is
sometimes
impossible.
in life it's just not possible. Sometimes I'm not saying
Well,
like
equality is
all
possible. It's
people should be
it's the
free.
equity thing that's the issue because they're talking about equality, but all their examples are about equity, right?
Right, but I'm talking about equality. Like
No,
all,
but because we
all
ha-
human beings are free.
well, right
All
now we
human
have
beings-
equality. We have equality, let's say, but we don't have equity. And I'm not talking about police brutality and stuff like that because the individual person, I can't judge what's in their head. There's some fucking
Right.
sickos. But in terms of like equality, we have equality. Like me and you could go for the same job. We can go, but we can't have equity. So, for example, what they're asking for is, let's say, like the pay gap, for example, right? Growing up, I thought that the pay gap thing was a real thing. Like we go for the job, you're a woman, I'm a man, I get paid more than you. That's not what's happening at all. There's no law that prevents people from getting.
No, of
Actually,
course,
women.
There's no law. There's no law.
There's a lot of cases where women are they're doing the exact same job as the guy, and they're actually getting paid more. The pay disparity is overall. It's calculated overall based on like a career, like a lifetime working.
Like lifetime pay. Yeah.
But the factors in that are impossible to adjust to, right? Because that's when they're asking for equity. So right now, if you've worked your entire career but you don't have the same job as me, like let's say I'm a CEO of a company, and you're I don't know executive assistant, or you work in
whatever,
media, or
something
whatever.
else.
Our salaries are never going to catch up. Let's say, okay. So at the end of a lifetime, and then you take off for maternity leave or whatever, at the end of a lifetime, it's impossible for it to match up. Now, what you're asking for to adjust that, what do you mean? So then give you extra money because you chose a different career? It doesn't, you know what I mean? The only way
I
that,
know what you're trying to say, but
because that's what's happening. But the way they describe it to kids, and unless they look into it, they make it seem like we go for the same job right now, me and you, Phil, or me and your wife. And
Yeah.
me, on the basis of me being a guy, I get paid more than her. Dude, especially in Canada or in the US, dude, a hint of that shit happening, you're getting sued. You can't do that shit.
well, it's not that. Look, you're not wrong in the sense that it's a question of equity and lifetime and
That's how they're
potential for
calculating
earning,
it. That's
right?
I didn't know that's how they were
But at the
calculating. I thought they
same
were
time,
calculating
like-
it based on job, but they're calculating it based on lifetime earnings.
Yeah,
And then
if
they're
that's
breaking it down.
absolutely True. Let's assume for a second that you're 100% right. Okay, like beyond the shadow of even argument. Let's assume that you're right. Why don't you just give men the same paternity leave you give women? That would equal us out. But that's taking away from something, right?
Yeah, but it won't
that's how
equal.
some people will see it.
You know where it
I'm
won't
not
equal it out.
suggesting it. I'm making an argument.
You know why it won't equal it out? And this is not me making this up. These are statistics. This is shit I've looked
Yeah.
into. Men go for different types of jobs. They work more hours on average. They're willing to sacrifice their health and their social life, right? They're willing to work. More men do it. More men work those jobs and start a company and all that shit. And in the end, the rewards a lot of times are monetarily more than the women. That's
but
the
that
other
could
thing.
just
So
be a
you can't.
byproduct of culture.
But no matter what it is, I can't force right now. I can't force. Find any woman in the chat. I can't force to be like, you know what? Starting tomorrow, you're gonna work fucking 80 hours a week. You're gonna do I can't force someone to do that or to go into a
can.
field that pays more. People go into what they like, right? So I can't tell a woman, you know what? I like video games. Go into video games and do this. She's like, I don't fucking like video games, bro. I like fucking, I don't know. I like working with animals. I like doing this. I can't force her to do it. And at the end of the life, be like, look at the disparity here. I was a CEO for 30 years. You were, I don't know, a fucking barista. I got to give you a couple $1 million to even it out. It doesn't make any sense.
No, that doesn't make
So
any
they're,
sense.
they're
But I'm trying to
the
keep
two
it.
the two genders I'm saying are not going for the same jobs, and they're not working at the same. They're not doing this are statistics, not me saying I don't believe women. They're not doing the same thing. So the end result can't be the same. You can't. Equality is you have the opportunity to do the same thing. But if you're not doing the same thing, you can't expect the same result. It's crazy.
Right. But the argument is that less women are doing the types of jobs that men are
Yeah.
doing that are earning them more money because they're discouraged by society to do them. Like in the 90s, it was sciences, right? Like
Yeah.
it was a big push, and there's a lot of women in the sciences now,
A
right?
lot, yeah.
And fuck, they're doing
There's
good
more
work.
women in university.
There's more women in university.
Yeah.
Like there's just.
So what I'm
just
saying is,
what if it's a byproduct of culture? What if the problem is not systemic, but it's endemic?
okay, well, you might be right because it might be culturally that people. But
I'm
even
not sure if I'm right.
where
I'm
was
just
it?
saying.
I was gonna ask Poseidon, but I think it was Norway.
Sorry, I don't know why I laughed so hard.
Which one was the Norway or Finland? One of the Scandinavian countries tried this because they were saying that basically the jobs, gender roles are a social construct and they're not genetic, right? So I think there was that whole you basically get supported and you get paid across the board equally, and still women went to traditionally women jobs, and men went to
it was this kind I remember reading
Yeah.
about this years ago.
yeah. So they tried to prove.
You can try and look for it if
They
you
tried to
want.
prove the opposite. They tried to prove that if you let women do whatever they want, they get paid the same. They're going to become engineers. They're going to become this. And the opposite happened. The second it was leveled, guys and girls still went to what they liked. Traditionally, they went to what they're better at. There's shit, Poseidon. I'll give you an example that no matter how much you train, whatever, women are going to be better at than you.
I want examples.
Yeah,
This should be fun. It sounds like it'll be fun.
Or even an individual, like another person will be better at you. You know.
Apparently, also like socially, like taking care, like nurturing and all that. They have the edge.
Oh yeah.
And I
They're genetically built to care for offspring, right? Like women have this. There's this argument that women have this, like something clicks when they, get pregnant and. Then,
yeah.
But I would argue that even me, like when my kids were born,
You
something
went into
clicked
dad
in my
mode.
mind.
Yeah.
Something changed. Like there was, like men can be nurturing, men can be caring. You look at gay couples who raise kids; those kids aren't fucked up because they didn't have a mother to hold them. You know what I mean?
No, if you have a good home, you're
Yeah.
gonna be fine.
If you have a good home, you have a good home.
Also, Poseidon, apparently things that you have to think of a lot of different stuff at once. Multitasking. You're also gonna normally, statistically, you're gonna get floored.
By women.
Yeah. Their cognitive ability to think about different, which is why I think, how you're talking about more in the sciences and this and that. I think that's why a lot more women are they're good at compute. There's a lot of programmers and stuff like that.
If that's true, then we did ourselves as a society a huge disadvantage by keeping women out of the sciences. We could have been on fucking Mars by now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No, so that's what I'm saying is there's stuff that just cognitive, that whole, you wish that you had that kind of snappiness, the multitasking thing. But
I don't know if that's
but the
true.
physical,
but
the physical strengths and all that stuff, obviously, you can't deny it. We're gonna have that. So there's gonna be jobs that are really physical that obviously a guy's gonna be better at. He's gonna need less tools. He can lift it himself. You know what I mean?
Unless it's a jacked woman. I've seen some fucking jacked women who can kick my ass.
But but I'm not trying to take exceptions. I'm just saying
I know.
if we're trying to discuss it globally.
I just want to keep in mind that there's always exceptions to everything, right? Nothing is black and white.
No.
Except for apparently race in the 21st century. That's just black and white.
Yeah.
Speaking of race war, I wanted to bring something up.
We didn't speak of a race war.
No, before you guys brought it up, like there's this whole bullshit race war, which it is bullshit. But I saw something crazy.
Tell me, Poseidon.
Oh,
I have been seeing nonstop online.
Nonstop.
None, whatever.
Nunchucks, bro.
None are those religious women.
The porn you watch.
Lady priests.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, nonstop.
Yeah,
Okay.
nonstop. Okay, nonstop. Okay, perfect. I got it. I have a speech impediment.
Delicious.
Add it to the list, buddy.
And man, I've been seeing the death of George Floyd was all a conspiracy. And people pointed out
it really happened.
some crazy shit.
We heard the guy from Cash Cab killed him. We heard.
No, not just that, but people came out with theories that they got their hands on live footage where they went on Google Maps and they looked at angles of the street.
Google Maps doesn't have live footage.
No, he's talking about the angles.
Yeah, they got like they got basically the angles of the streets and everything.
Okay.
Like it doesn't match, and they're saying another weird thing. They're saying that this could have been planned because if you pay attention, this is not during a pandemic because the
Look,
cops
Poseidon,
don't have a mask.
Poseidon,
Hold
I'm
on.
just gonna. I
Stop.
think I really feel like I should stop you, because the amount of canceling that's happening right now, for nothing, is crazy.
Oh, no one's gonna cancel us, Phil. Don't you worry about that.
I don't mean canceling the show. Nobody canceled the show.
Mm.
I just mean things like. Did you see what happened with Jessica Mulrooney?
No, is that Brian Mulrooney's friend, his daughter, sister?
I think it's his wife.
Brian or Ben Mulrooney?
Ben.
Okay.
Ben's wife. I'm pretty sure.
I
Yeah,
thought
Ben's
he was
wife.
gay.
But Phil,
No.
I'm not.
Ben,
I'm
the
just
guy
saying,
from E-Talk.
If you feel safe going on, go on.
Oh,
But
wait,
if-
what did
Yeah,
she
no,
say?
I'm not
I'm
saying
very
I believe
curious.
Any of this.
Hold
Okay,
on.
that's all I wanted you to say.
I didn't even know this
Yeah,
guy was
no.
married. I thought he was. Oh shit! What did
Yeah,
she
he's married, he
say?
has kids. But we'll talk about it after. It's an interesting story.
Oh, I'm so interested now. Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, Poseidon. I'm
No,
looking out for
I'm
you,
not
buddy.
saying-
You know
I'm-
that, right?
No, I know. I'm not saying I believe any of this, but
Okay, good. Go on.
they do raise some interesting points. Like nobody is wearing a mask during a pandemic. Like George didn't have a mask, none of the cops had a mask. Nobody on the street had a mask.
True.
Shit like that.
Yeah, but why? Yeah, but a lot of people aren't wearing masks right now. A lot
Yeah.
of people aren't taking that shit seriously. Dude, people weren't wearing masks in the beginning. Just because we were wearing masks doesn't mean that everyone's gonna wear them.
Yeah, plus you should probably look into the numbers in Minnesota to see what it was actually like if it's one of the states that opened up early.
Yeah, it
and-
was sunny too. The guy was
Oh,
wearing
yeah.
shorts.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying I believe it, but I'm just saying like crazy shit's been coming out.
Do you want to hear
That's
my
not crazy
made-up
shit.
conspiracy?
That's
You guys
just
want to hear
stupid.
my pretend conspiracy, the one I made up just because I think it's so radical that if I
Yeah.
say it, some crazy idiot will believe it?
Yeah.
What is it?
So there's a global pandemic, okay? And you're the secret cabal that runs the world. And you're like, yo, we hate black people. And they're like, what are we going to do about them? This virus is taking us all out equally. Hey, remember that cop that we caught touching kids that one time? Call him and tell him to kill an unarmed black man in public. That'll get them out in the streets. There's a conspiracy.
All this
now,
is
completely unfounded.
This is a dumb bully cop who doesn't know how to do his job. That's what happened. Poseidon.
Of course.
Surrounded
it is, but I'm
by-
just saying,
surrounded
you
by
can make
obviously.
conspiracy
buffoons.
out of nothing.
Yeah, no, but I'm
Just trying to
saying
make an example.
surrounded by buffoons. But Poseidon, you're saying what? That it was staged?
No.
I'm not saying that. All these conspiracies online have been saying that. I think,
Okay, what are the conspiracies saying? That it was staged?
yeah, that it was staged
To
because
what
they
end?
took different angles.
But what
Well,
are the
that-
different? Because you keep saying stuff like different angles. What do you mean?
Yeah, so basically they're saying that the left, the hardcore left, basically prepared this a few months in advance in case their whole pandemic thing didn't pan out.
I'm just gonna
saying-
stop you there. Do you know how many unarmed citizens, black, white, or whatever, are being offed by police? It happens.
Oh no, I know.
More
obviously,
often
I know,
than
but
you'd care to look into. So there's enough video out there if they wanted to do something like this. And also, you think if that would happen, this is the guy that they would choose.
No, exactly. That's why I'm not believing it. The only thing that makes sense to me is there was something that came out that apparently they used to work together,
Yeah,
and that this was more personal.
The bouncer
That
thing.
is that. Yeah,
that
the
they
bouncer
butted
thing.
heads at work.
Yeah, exactly. And he was jealous because
The
women
chat,
like
the chat just turned on me.
What'd they say?
because women like George Floyd more and stuff like that. That makes the most sense to me logically of what could have happened. That it was personal. Because for 8.5 minutes, like 9 minutes.
Yeah, but
on the
what
guy's
part?
neck.
What part was personal? You saying he went and found him there because they got a call. They got a call from the store. That's why they went there.
I think
Yeah,
he's
they're saying
yeah.
it was a random call, and that cop who worked with him
Yeah,
showed up, and it happened. It was like a coincidence type of situation.
a
Thing,
cop
you know?
that doesn't like him shows up, and then roughed
Yeah,
him up.
exactly.
That's possible too. But
That makes
that again doesn't go with what the left paid him. Like you're saying two different things.
No, I'm saying these are the theories that came out, but now I'm saying what makes the most sense to me.
That it was personal, that he got a
Yeah,
call and he's like,
exactly.
I know this guy and I fucking hate him. I'm just
Yeah.
going to be a dick to him. And
when
oops,
he
he's dead.
showed up. Maybe, yeah, that too.
I
That's
mean, that's
possible too.
possible.
Because if he's a dick enough to put his knee behind a stranger's neck for 9 minutes and not get up, even though the guy's hands are behind his back, he might be a dick to want to be not try to kill him, but try to be super rough with a guy that he has beef with. It's possible. Either way, he's gonna have to go to court. The other guys around him too, like the Asian guy who looked nervous the whole time. I don't know what they're gonna.
Yeah, he looked like he was losing control of the situation. That's what was happening in his
but
head.
you know what the problem is they're also victims of that police culture, right? Because they're gonna be like, well, why didn't you guys stop him? Well, we didn't know that he was gonna die, and also what do you want me to do? Well, you told us, because the whole thing in police is you can't make your partner look stupid in front of people. You can't go against them, and you know. So you just fucking tied their hands. Because what a logical adult would have done is like, yo, push him, get the fuck off him. What are you doing, stupid? Right? But apparently you can't do that. You can't argue in front of people.
Have you seen the footage out of Buffalo where they knocked over that old guy?
Yeah, the one that Trump said was a spy for Antifa. Yeah.
Did he say that?
Yeah. He said he was using a device to block their communications.
A cell phone device, huh?
Yeah, it's not true.
No, of course it's not true. But like, if you look at that footage, it's terrible. I feel bad for the guy. Like he got knocked down hard.
I feel bad for the guy too, but he fucking walked into it. Like there's a girl apparently who died because of tear gas because she had like asthmatic problems or something like that. That's what Poseidon. Why were you at the protest where there's tear? Like, yeah. You have to understand. If I can't swim, I'm not gonna go with everyone in the lake and jump in and then be like, yeah, he died, he couldn't swim, he went. Well, why did he go in the lake?
The lake's
everyone was doing it. Like if you have asthmatic, don't go where the tear gas is, right?
It's like you don't want to get shot, don't stand in front of a gun. Like you can't stand in front of a gun and get shot and go, it's the gun's fault.
Like this old guy, okay, maybe he wasn't shoved as hard as, like maybe if I was shoved like that, I wouldn't go over, but I'm not 75 years old. Yeah. You know what I mean? They pushed him.
Good for the old guy. He wanted to fucking one last hurrah, you know?
They pushed him the way they push us.
Him that hard.
No, but they pushed him the way they shove us, right? But the thing is, the guy's 70. Yeah, the guy's 75 fucking years old, whatever he is. So I feel super bad for a guy getting, his skull cracked for nothing, basically, like over nothing. Over you could have been home. Like it's not a real thing. But at the same time, it's like fuck, man. You have to understand that the dangers in your life. Like, what are you doing? Like, there's stuff that's dangerous. You have to be careful, and he wasn't careful. He went in and got himself.
Could they have stopped and helped him? Everyone's saying that's not their training. There's medics in the back. But at the same time, you just knock over an elderly person. He's bleeding out. You can fucking...
Yeah, you can stop and help. That's what I think they should have done too. I think they should have been like, oh, fuck, okay, there's an accident that happened here. Let's take care of it. Like if I run someone over with my car, I can't be like, oh, well, fuck it, I'm out of here. He shouldn't have walked in the street. Even if it's his fault and he ran in the street, I'm still going to stop and be like, what the fuck? I got to help this guy.
Yeah, it's not like, well, he shouldn't have been in the street. I'm just going to keep going. Exactly what you just said, right?
Yeah, but also he shouldn't have fucking been there. He shouldn't have ran the fucking street in the end, you know?
It's just, like, okay, I want to talk about this, what we were talking about before, the Mulrooney thing. So the story, Jessica Mulrooney had a bunch of shows on different networks. She had partnerships with the Bay.
Can you explain to everyone who Jessica Mulrooney is? Because just the fact that Ben Mulrooney, I didn't even know was married with kids. I thought it was.
So I'm pretty sure, as far as my understanding of her is, it's his wife, and she's also a social media influencer, and she had a show on CTV. And she has a bunch of brand deals with like the Bay and I think Joe Fresh, if I'm not mistaken.
I'll bring her up so we can see her. Go on.
And a bunch of she's a socialite, fashion, TV person, right? Media person. So there's some model on Instagram named Sasha Exeter, was posting about Black Lives Matter and saying something along the lines. And what's important here is that I can't seem to find the original post that sparked all this.
All I see here is Toronto Sun, Jessica Mulrooney. Very difficult for her to come back from this.
That's because it's 2 days old than you.
Jessica
now,
has just been flattened by the 2020 career KO called racism. Oh, she's racist. She looks.
No. So here's the thing. She's best friends, and this is how all the news covered it. Meghan Markle's best friend, Jessica Mulrooney.
Oh, it's Meghan Markle's friend.
Yeah, even Meghan Markle's been pulled into this debate now because the whole thing stems around the fact that this Sasha, the model who started all this, who initiated this conversation, she was posting about Black Lives Matter and reaching out and saying to her network, along the lines of white silence is violence, that whole concept. That if you're not saying anything, you should be using your reach, your networks to help the cause.
What about a month before all this happened? Was everything
She wasn't saying anything about it a month
before. Just saying.
Yeah. So she says that, and Jessica Mulrooney reaches out to her. This is how it's been reported. I don't know what actually happened. And says, hey, why are you calling me out for not saying anything? And she's like, I'm not calling you out specifically. I'm just saying everyone should say something. An argument ensues. They get into a fight. Online, yeah. And she basically tells her, this is bullshit. You're bullying people into doing what you want. And
I'm not. She's not wrong.
But here's where it gets tricky. She goes, I'm going to reach out. I've reached out to all the brands that work with you to tell them not to work with you anymore.
That's a bit of a bitchy move.
So this bitch gets mad and, this is all in DMs, publishes the conversation and Jessica Mulroney gets instantly canceled by the internet, like racist.
Wow, I never heard anything about race so far.
Well, it was a Black Lives Matter, and the model
Yeah,
was
but
black.
so what? So what? It had nothing to do with race. It had to do with her being a bitch.
Sasha Exeter posts a video, which I shared on my story because it amused me,
Yeah.
about how Jessica Mulroney did this thing. It's this long, her just talking.
Yeah.
And the thing that stands out to me the most is at one point she goes, and it's important that we talk about this race war. She called it a race war.
Oh yeah, that's the chick that you sent me the video.
She called it, and I was like,
What
I said it to
you
did
fuck
she just
that bitch.
call it a race war?
Yeah.
Because as far as my understanding of it is, it's a social revolution.
Yeah.
It's not a race war.
No.
So
no.
anyways,
for the people
this
who are
happened.
calling it a race war, I don't care if they're black, white, Asian, whatever the fuck they are. They're racists and they need to be fucking canceled, dude.
Like the idea that
Whoever's
it's
calling for a
race war is
fucking
crazy.
you know who used to call for race wars, bro? The KKK, Charles Manson. That's the side you want to be on. You want to be on the side of them? Are you fucking crazy?
Which
So-
surprisingly, the KKK was started by the Democrats, by the way.
Yeah, it's not surprising.
Interesting.
It's not
Fun
surprising
fact.
at all. Also,
So-
fucking 9 of the 11 statues they tore down were all Democrats. And another thing, Christopher, I'm going to say this right now. I forgot that we have a platform to talk about this. When they took down Christopher Columbus's statue, these fucking dummies. You know that Christopher Columbus didn't actually enslave or murder anyone, right? He showed up, he found the land, and then he traversed back the fucking month's trip to tell people, hey, there is land over there. I got these shiny rocks that thought they were diamonds, but they were just rocks. And then they went over and took over the cut. He's not the colonizer. That's not his job. That guy was discover land and then come back and tell us about it. I don't think he even came back after. You know that, right? He discovered it.
I'm not sure
Went
about
back
that.
and he never came back.
Where did Columbus die?
In Urups.
Are you sure?
I think so, yeah. I don't
I'm
think he
looking
ever
it
went
up
back.
right now.
Really?
But let me just finish the story about Sasha Exeter
I'm gonna
and
Google this
Jessica
and bring
Mulroney.
back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah, he didn't.
So-
He's not
Mute
a.
my mic.
His job was an explorer. He wasn't
Yeah,
a.
he was an explorer for sure. He
he wa-
wasn't a very good explorer to some extent.
No, he wasn't
also.
good at all. He didn't.
kept getting lost.
He. They made it seem like it was him. Like he ruled the land or something with an iron fist. Everybody had jobs. Right? He was an explorer. He didn't. He wasn't a king or
Yeah.
anything.
So
Yeah.
Jessica Mulroney realizes that the internet has turned on her, issues a public apology, tries to save face, whatever, does the thing that everyone does when they get in trouble, and then DMs her that says, "Hey, by the way, libel suit coming your way. You're done."
DMs the model.
The model. And
Good.
the model publishes
She shouldn't have
that.
DM'd her though,
She shouldn't have DM'd her.
but she was angry.
Yeah, but she was angry, yeah. And she lost all of her brand deals. Her career is done. CTV canceled her show and pulled it from reruns.
Man, you know
like-
what? Fuck CTV for giving into the mob.
It's
That's
and
not
then
that's
there's
not
that-
CTV's
yeah, but
business. This is
goes
two.
straight.
This is two fly ass honeys that got into a fight online, and it has nothing to do with you. And first of all, when one of them calls the other racist, and then you look at the transcript and you see that she's not insulting her race or anything, right away you pull out. You're like, okay, these
She
two are
didn't
just being
actually
bitches.
call her racist. She called her a bully. She actually says in her video, "I'm by no means calling her a racist,"
Mm,
but you know that whole concept of white guilt?
yeah.
That's what fueled all of this.
Yes.
Because Jessica Mulroney saw maybe a generic post and her white guilt, the white guilt monster took over, and she's like, "I'm so privileged. How dare you? How dare you point it out to everyone?" But it probably wasn't even about her.
it's all
It's just
stupid.
that's why I said what I said to Poseidon. Like, you can't say anything.
Yeah. Well, Poseidon,
Like-
you literally can't say anything properly. All this. By the way, the white guilt thing I was looking at doesn't even make sense for us, right?
For me, like us three.
Us three or many millions of people in North America that have similar stories. Because the whole white guilt thing is supposed to be about, your ancestors or whatever owned slaves here. Or,
Yeah.
Dude, my people came here, less than 50
40
years
years
ago.
ago.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what the fuck are you talking about?
Like, when
Uh,
people, yeah, go ahead.
By the
What'd
way,
you
you
find
are
out?
right. He did die in Spain.
I told you.
Okay. And Spain,
And,
it's pronounced
what-
Spain.
Spain. Spain.
Spain.
Another thing that I thought it was true that apparently is a myth
Hmm.
that he committed genocide.
He did not commit genocide.
No,
That is,
Yeah,
dude,
I just read it was a myth.
Yeah. So look, a lot of people are finding out. So like, shit, Pantelis is a comedian. Why is he also telling us stuff? I was also a history man. That's what I did. And a lot
Sure,
of this,
I can confirm this.
yeah, a lot of the stuff that what they'll do is the media especially is guilty of this, and then stupid kids are guilty of not doing the research. They'll take something that's just easy to sell, right? They'll take something, they'll skew the actual details, and they'll put it out there, and then people themselves will take it and morph it. So basically, this is the argument. They're saying that because America was discovered and native people died, right?
It was Columbus's fault.
You draw a whole line to who discovered it, who built the boat, who built the... It's fucking insanity. And first of all, I'm not saying that they were treated correctly. As we know, I'm a big fighter of native rights here. I don't like the way the natives are treated here. I think it's still despicable. Like Canada keeps talking shit about other countries when we mistreat the native fucking people every fucking day. Anyways, we'll get to that later. But you realize that the native people that were here, like all these tribes, were also murdering and scalping themselves and cutting heads off and all that. Like, that's what people do all over the place. You go, they would take over another village, they would kill them. Same thing that happened in Greece, same thing that happened in other parts of the world. That's what human beings do. They're fucking assholes. Especially back in the day, there were no fucking cell phone cameras. They were cutting people's heads off. They were fucking killing their neighbors. So violence wasn't introduced to the Americas by fucking British or Spanish or any explorer. Violence has always existed. So let's just get this whole concept of violence didn't exist here. But they were fucking painting with all the colors of the wind or whatever the fuck is nonsense. The Mayans were fucking rolling heads down fucking pyramids.
Mayans, they were doing some damage.
Yeah, because that's how people are.
Yeah.
And they were enslaving fucking other people, and then other people showed up and they're like, now we're going to enslave you. None of it is right. We're all asshole human beings, right?
Yeah, of course.
But I'm saying, why lie? Let's talk about history. Let's talk about real stuff.
Yeah. Columbus did not commit genocide.
Yeah.
He wasn't perfect. He sold indigenous sex slaves.
Yeah.
He killed indigenous peoples when he arrived on islands. Like, they fought wars and they killed people. He murdered people for sure. He definitely sold sex slaves.
What?
But not Columbus? That's true. That's documented. When he arrived in the Caribbean, he got into like
the sex trade
military. He basically they fought war with tribes who didn't want them.
Of course, you're always gonna
right? And he took their women and children and some men and sold them into sex slavery and slavery.
Really? To who?
To whoever was buying. There was plenty of other white people at the time around from Europe looking to buy people. The Portuguese, the French. Yeah, when he stayed here for a while. He didn't just come, check it out, and leave. He stayed for a while. He went island to island in the Caribbean.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah. So yeah, no, that's confirmed. He sold people into slavery, but he didn't commit genocide. I'm not saying one is worse than the other. I'm just stating the facts.
And also that is the sign of the times, sir. I'm not mad about that. I'm just confused about the sex slavery thing to who he would sell it to, apart from the people that were already there.
He would keep sex slaves trapped within his encampment so he could please his men to keep them happy, because it's a bunch of dudes. They're gonna get horny. That's what was happening.
That's what they still do now.
I know. It's
what
wrong,
ISIS
but
does.
it's what it is. But again, didn't commit genocide. He is not the colonizer, like the head of the colonizer. You want to be mad at someone? Be mad at the fucking.
We've already said this.
Monarchy,
I've established this.
Sent him.
What they're telling. If you want to get real news, you come to this buffoon. And it's not even a question of I did mad research. This is stuff that's readily available. The problem is that a lot of fucking assholes are just taking what the headline says and they're like, that must be true. That must be true.
I love when people try to cancel historical figures.
Yeah, and also statues. Taking down statues. Like, that's not... Dude, how about you stop being racist? How about you stop doing racist shit? That's what's going to help. You think that by taking down a statue, you're like, all right, racism over. Because some guy that's already been dead for 200 years, his statue's gone.
Well, look at John McDonald. Have you seen this whole debate about Canada's first prime minister being a white supremacist?
Oh, God. No, I never saw that.
So I was like, this can't be true.
What?
So I'll be honest. I have not spent enough time reading about Canadian history. As a Canadian, I spent way more time reading about other countries' histories because I take it for granted. So I did some reading on John A. Macdonald last week, and I was like, there's no way this guy was a white supremacist. Guys, this guy seems to maybe have been a white supremacist.
Explain.
Like, I read speeches, like transcriptions of speeches that he gave in, like, the House of Commons, where he calls to cleanse. Like, this is a transcription. Okay, a historical transcription. He calls to cleanse British Columbia of the Asiatic element because it does not mesh well with the Aryan nature of Canada. Those are his words. That sounds like a white supremacist.
Well, where's the controversial statement?
And that was the morning show.
So I have a question. You like that? The pause? So I have a question. That didn't make any sense because is this a real quote? The reason why I find this confusing is because how the fuck did he say Aryan?
Yeah. Well, don't forget the concept of Aryan race only became taboo after the Nazis. This is
No,
in
no, I
the
know, but I mean
1800s.
the Aryan. What did he say? The Aryan
The
spirit of
Aryan
Canada.
character. I can find the exact quote if you want. I can look
Aryan
for it.
character of Canada. Canada didn't exist. Canada was like indigenous tribes who are not Aryan. What the fuck's he talking about?
No, he was building the Great White Race in Canada. He was an imperialist, man.
The Great White Race. Where the fuck did he say
Yeah.
that? I've never seen this.
No, the Great White. That's
Not
me
to be
paraphrasing.
Not to be confused with the great white shark.
Yeah, I've never seen this.
And I never confused it with that either. But yeah, I didn't know either. I was like, why are they fucking pissed at McDonald? He's
No,
on our money. What did
I
he
heard
do?
that they're pissed because same reason why they're pissed at McGill and they want to change the name of the university now because he owned slaves. But contextually at the time, you have to take history.
I didn't roll his eyes or have an orgasm just now.
Both.
What just happened? Okay.
Both.
But like
Okay.
McGill, they were talking about it yesterday. They want to deface
Yeah.
the statue and change the name or whatever because he owned slaves. But you would have to cancel everything that's ever happened and stop using certain technologies because that was real life at the time. And it's not good for us now, obviously. Who the fuck,
No.
the only slave trade that's happening right now is in, the Arab world. But everywhere else, we're not cool with that shit. So you can't erase it happened. That was where he lived. For him, it was normal. He didn't
Yeah,
do
but
it. He didn't do it because he's like, fuck George Floyd. They're gonna be pissed in a couple of 100 years. No, that's what the reality was then. And we got better as human beings, and we don't do that shit anymore. But so right now, if you find out that the Wright brothers were racist, okay, are we gonna cancel
They
planes?
probably were.
They probably were. But are we gonna cancel planes?
I think that makes sense. We should do that. We don't
That
need
is so stupid. It doesn't make any sense.
them. No, yeah, you're right.
It doesn't make any sense.
Like I've read.
Basically
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go for
Basically,
it.
what they want is like a restart of society. So we do everything.
But how
Actually,
I don't
Brodigan said
understand.
something
I don't
funny. It's true. We
understand
are
what
called
their
the Great.
logic
Oh
is.
my God, Brodigan's right. They call Canada the Great White North. I never thought about it until now.
Oh,
Holy shit, Phil, you might be right.
yo, maybe this is fucking Haman in the High Castle. This is the alternate universe where the Nazis won.
No. Uh-oh. CNN's gonna start looking up.
That's pretty fucking wow.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it has to do with snow. But
I'm
I really
actually,
like this reaction.
I'm
train that we did.
150% sure it has to do with snow. For the record, I'm
Yeah.
fucking around right now. It 100% has to do with snow. However, there's gonna be idiots that takes out of context. They're
Yeah.
like, yo, bro.
The Great White North, man. And the Chinese had been here longer than some of the Europeans.
Well,
Because the Chinese of British Columbia, like those Canadians today,
yeah.
some of them have been here for fucking 9-10 generations.
9-10
They built-
generations, bro. Most of the indigenous tribes who have been here for thousands of years, they actually traveled over when Irkutsk
Yes.
was connected.
mean, Chinese
from
back-
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Like if you want to get technical, the Asians
straight.
have been here way before us. So
For sure.
the Vikings were here before us.
Dude, I haven't been here that long. My parents were born here. They're
Yeah.
the first generation to be
Same.
born here.
Me too.
My grandfather one day looked over the fucking Taigatos mountain and he said, "I'm gonna sell all my sheep.
I'm
I'm
going
gonna
to
go to the New
Canada.
World."
Why?
And he wanted
I
to go
heard
to
it's
the
great.
States.
I heard it's white.
Yeah, no. He wanted to make a fucking living, and he
Yeah.
wanted to go to the States, and they're like, "Look, we're full up. Go to Canada." He's like, "But it's cold there."
Yeah.
And then he came here, and he was very sad because it was winter.
I
But he
I
stayed.
wanted to go to America. You got America Light. It's
Yeah,
very
America
close.
Light. That's what he got. And at the time, it was probably a good option. At the time.
What's the difference between America and America Light? About 10 degrees. So yeah, that was a
About
good,
10 calories.
about 10 calories.
Yeah.
So yes, so another thing. That's the other thing with the whole like the race war, the racism thing. The second you look into it, you're like, maybe you shouldn't be too racist because whether you like it or not, dickhead, you have joint history with a lot of people. So like same thing here. The natives, Mexico has so many ties to like the old world of the time. Incas, Mayans, all that, you know what I mean? So we're all
ancient
tied.
alien stuff,
Yeah, we're
yeah.
all tied to all the ancient alien cool stuff. We're all tied to the past. We're all tied to certain locations. So there's so much about all the nuances are in culture, not in color. Your color changes
Right,
absolutely nothing.
yeah.
It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah,
It doesn't.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'll grab a kid from Nigeria. I'll raise him. He's gonna be whatever the fuck I tell him to be. Whatever I teach him to be. He's gonna be a weird Greek guy like me. That's the truth. That's it. You can't. It changes nothing.
Yo, you're gonna be rich when he hits the NBA.
Oh yeah, the Tocumbo. But yeah, it changes nothing. So don't fall for that fucking garbage. That's
No, it's all culture, and a big part of culture is sometimes religion.
Yeah.
Right. Not always.
not always
but,
depending on the culture, but yeah. But
yeah,
don't
you look at how like all these like during this Black Lives Matter movement that's been like kind of monopolizing the social media feeds of a lot of people.
Mhm.
I keep seeing a lot of Jewish people say stuff like, we understand because we've been discriminated by our race. But you haven't been discriminated by your race. Judaism is not a race.
Yeah, you're right about that. It's not. However, it's treated as a race because of they just the way the interaction is. Like we're Jewish, we're this, so people treat them as a race. So like Jews, they put them over there. So I understand what they're saying though. I get what they're saying.
But
technically, it's not a race, but we
Jewish
segregate
people,
them. Because normally, they ask you, like, are you black, Hispanic, Jewish? They everywhere it's categorized as if it's a race. So it's not their fault for feeling that way.
But if I don't ask you, I don't know you're Jewish unless you're like a Hasidic Jewish person and you're decked out. Like a black person will be discriminated upon view. Like you see them, you know they're black.
Yeah.
People think I'm Jewish sometimes. It doesn't mean I am. It doesn't mean I'm discriminated against.
Very, very greedy.
It just means that it's very different. It's fine to address the fact that Jews were discriminated against, but the idea that we get it, it's not the same. It's not.
What about the Holocaust?
The Holocaust is a terrible fucking chapter in human history where they were singled out. It's arguably maybe worse.
But that's what I'm saying. When you said I don't get how they get it, pretty sure they get it.
No, they can relate, but it's not the same in modern in the world.
You're right.
The modern world.
But it's very true what you just said about the
Hitler also hated black people, for the record.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm just saying.
And he hated mustache trimmers, so he wasn't a man of the fashions.
He was not.
So, but I like what you're saying about. I never thought about that about the at view, right?
What do you mean?
Like you see someone and instantly you like. Let's say if you're racist, if you see a black guy, you know that he's black, so you can be racist right off the bat.
Instantly.
Whereas if you're not
I
sure,
had never thought of it until someone said it to me.
Because some people don't even know I'm Greek until I tell them I'm Greek. They just assume I'm.
I would never guess
Canadian or American or English or stuff like that.
You look like. I feel like if I didn't know you and I saw you on the street before you spoke, obviously, I'd be like, that guy maybe an angry Scottish guy.
Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe a Saxon of some kind. Yeah.
People said Russian, so there's
oh yeah, Pantelis.
So you never know.
Like a Slav, yeah.
Pantelis, yeah. So you never. Basically, but in the end, Phil, we're just rehashing old shit. I don't think anyone who watches this show, hopefully not, is like a for a race war and actively racist, or else they've tuned into the wrong show, Phil. All right.
Well, let's put it to the comments. If you're for the race war, let us know.
Well, I'm for the race war if the race war is Poseidon in a race. That's what I'm for.
That would be a race horse.
Yes, having him run.
You like that? Look at him. He's like, I like that.
Yo, but in terms of it's the morning and we're dealing with too many heavy-hitting political stuff.
Heavy. Yeah, it is
I want to talk about more fun stuff in the morning to brighten up our day. Okay. I was looking at The Last of Us 2 Poseidon is coming out. Reviews for it are already out, and the whole time I was thinking of you.
Why?
Just I want to know what your opinion is going to be of the game. I want to know, first of all, I want to know if you're excited because of all the news we've been getting leading up to this. It's going to be on the PS4, but all the news leading up. We'll talk about the PS5 also, but all the news that's been leading up to this with the problems they had at the studio, the woman that came out and basically leaked the whole game. I
haven't followed any of it.
Oh no! Apparently they were trying to appease like a specific employee for like the longest time, and she was hardcore leftist, and they were trying to appease her. So the story was changed to appease her, all that stuff. And then she's still the one that got mad at them because she was being overworked and leaked everything. So they did everything they could to appease her, and she fucked them over. So I was wondering if the fact that the game is going to probably be a very well-made game. All right, it's a very good studio, but the fact that their ideological politics are seeping through cancerously into the game now that they pushed it through for a political agenda, is that going to affect whether or not you play the game?
Yes.
Negatively or positively?
Negatively. I don't like it when there's too much. Like I like it when games explore. Like The Witcher did this very well on what's good and bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there could be politics in a game, but when it
forced
pushes
down your throat to pick a side.
Yeah, this forced agenda type of thing. I don't like that. And the same thing happened with Mass Effect. What was that newest one there? Andromeda.
I didn't play it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I didn't play it because of that. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, they did the exact same thing with that. And
oh yeah, good. Do you remember this? Phil, this was actually funny where they made what did they do that was fucking hilarious? they decided to that one of the people, the designing or people that work there complained. She was like a goblin, like in real life, like she was disgusting. So she complained that the women were too attractive. You should have
What game is this?
Somehow
I phased out for a second.
the last
What happened?
Mass Effect. So basically, it's like
right.
it's not fair.
For the
It
record,
makes
I'm not
people
a
like
big
me.
gamer, right?
It makes ugly people like me feel bad. So make
Okay.
the men better looking so that it's easier for us to look at as women, but make the women more disgusting because they should look like us, something stupid like that. And they fucking appeased.
Yeah.
And the
So
women all
game
look
is
fucking
filled
weird
with
and shit.
Ugly women and very sexy men.
Something like that, yeah. Which
That
was,
seems
yeah.
kind of sexist.
yeah, which was fucking hilarious. It's like, why would you even think about that? Why don't you just make every character, like a movie, as good looking as they can be? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or some good looking, some not good looking. Just give it
Yeah.
a good spread.
Yeah, give a good spread.
Representative sample size.
Because the thing is that she was forgetting is, no matter how ugly you make the chicks in the game, no one in real life is gonna fuck you either way. Like that's not gonna help your chances. Like what are you gonna do? You're gonna go on Tinder and show a photo of the ugly video game character, and then you be like, I'm better than this, right? I'd be like, still left. This is still
It's the
left.
whole ugly friend concept. You know how women tend to keep an ugly friend in the group?
Yeah, they're
to
gonna keep
elevate
photos of their
themselves?
game characters.
No, it's just like if that's all they're dealing with, maybe I'll just look better by extension.
Yeah, there was a lot of problems I remember with politics in that game, and in the end, I didn't buy it because it got too political. And so I was like, "Fuck, man, people want to escape. They want to play games just to fucking escape." So, Last of Us 2, I was thinking the same thing. The company, they work very hard and they produce very good games. So I was like, I'm convinced that the game itself, gameplay, all that is going to be, I don't know, revolutionary, but it's going to be a lot of fun, right? Based on the first one. But I was like, if all this politics really did seep through the way the leaks were saying and the way people were talking about it, I think a lot of people are going to turn away from it because they're going to be like, well, fuck, I don't want to be inundated with toxic politics.
Yeah, well, I think this is why when I first saw, like, there was a trailer about this game a while back. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And the woman looked like a man in the trailer. There was
Oh,
like a fight scene. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
it was from that moment that I got turned off from that game, and I was like, this is gonna be some weird fucking social justice bullshit.
Yeah.
So right away, it kind of like,
Yeah, I don't like anything being forced on my. Speaking of forced, GTA 5 came out on the PS3. Okay.
Okay.
Poseidon, it launched on the PS3. That was the initial GTA 5 launch.
I remember that.
Which one is GTA 5?
No, wait.
It's the latest GTA. It's the latest GTA.
It's not Niko Bellic.
It wasn't
No.
on. It was on
That's-
PS3 too.
It was on PS3.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought Grand Theft Liberty City was on the PS3. I had it.
Liberty City
Like,
Stories is no, it's not that.
Not Liberty City Stories. Like the one
Poseidon,
that takes
Google it
place
right
in
now.
Liberty
You'll
City.
see GTA 5 PS3.
GTA 4 came out on the PS3, right?
GTA 4 also came out on the PS3.
That was like my last
my God,
experience
you're
with
right.
hardcore
Yeah,
gaming.
no, listen. GTA 5.
It came out at the end though. It
Yeah.
came out at the end, September of 2013.
Yeah, there's no
you're right,
though.
You're right.
There's no though. It came out on the PS3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Re-released on the PS4 also, right? It came on the PS4.
Yeah.
They had a
Upgraded
upgraded version for the PS4, and now it's coming out again, upgraded again on the PS5. 3 generations of consoles. You know how much? First of all, you know how much money they're making on GTA Online? Ridiculous sums of money. That's why they're giving everybody $1 million cash every day now to be on $1 million online cash in the game to be online, so that you build up and then you play the new version on PS5. That was a great fucking game. It's one of the best games ever made. Is GTA 5 to show you the longevity, Phil. This is an unheard of
it's a
thing,
fucking huge universe. You can do anything.
and just the fact that it can still move consoles is to me mind-boggling. That you've already had the same fucking game on 2 previous consoles, and you're still like, now I want to play it on the fucking that new SSD that the
I don't think
PS5
I've ever
has.
played GTA 5.
Oh, it's incredible.
Not sure. What city is it in?
Not to mention.
It's in Los Santos, so it's
it's in Los Santos
California,
again,
basically,
okay.
LA and all that. It's the same one that was in San Andreas. It's that same.
Yeah, that same.
just bigger?
But even like Liberty City,
Amazing.
like that is a fucking. Considering how old it is, and like
Yeah.
I played it for almost a year.
Yeah, you
straight
loved.
every
Yeah,
day.
you played. You had it on the PS3.
I was so into it.
Yeah.
And you can. I was living another life in fucking Liberty City, man. Like you can get lost in that game. I wasn't even playing fucking side missions. I was just doing shit, like random shit. So
Yeah,
these things
I
have
know what you mean.
longevity.
Dude, it was.
Yeah, go on.
And not to mention it even came out on PC, and there was a whole modding community that did crazy shit with it.
Yeah, there's
bro.
some cool stuff.
Have
yeah.
you seen those videos, bro? You
Dude.
can be Spider-Man. You can be whatever the fuck you want.
modders are fucking insane. They do
Yeah.
some of the best. They should get hired. Some of these guys.
Why didn't you hire a modder once to like make your own team kit?
Oh
For a
yeah,
soccer game.
that was for Pro Evolution Soccer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I miss Pro. That's what I miss.
I still play Pro. Even though the Legend difficulty is a bit of a bitch, but
PS5 seems like something I may actually inadvertently
Purchase?
spend money on.
dude, the PS5, like when we're looking at that whole Unreal Engine showing off last month, I think, with the whole ray tracing and all the grains of sand and all the. So already the Unreal, whatever's running on Unreal, the next Unreal is gonna look good, but you obviously need something to power it. And then you look at what the PS5 can do with that SSD and how they were talking about. So right now a lot of game design is built around loading screens, right? Because it's part of the reality. So they build a game design. They build loading screens around the game design. Phil's offline again. But they build, so they're like, okay, like let's say the Spider-Man game, they're like, we know it's going to load for like a minute. So what do? We can't just say loading anymore, right? So they have them like in the metro traveling. You know what I mean? Like showing you something when you're fast traveling so that the game isn't just blank saying now loading. What they're talking about the PS5 is, with its capabilities, the speed is so fast that it's virtually going to eliminate these loading screens. So now game design has to change accordingly because it's like, well, what do? You just, if you fast travel, you just show him there. It's going to be a weird cut, you know? So now what do? Do we purposely slow it down like so it doesn't look as fucking jarring? Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it has to. Yeah, game design is going to have to change because of it, which is fucking interesting. All that shit is super, super interesting. Yeah.
I love the memes that came out right after. Did you see the memes?
People didn't. Some people didn't like the console design. Though the console looks amazing. People are fucking idiots. The console looks amazing, bro. People are just trying to be contrarians.
Not like the fucking Xbox where it's just this fucking giant fucking rectangular cube.
Yeah, you're gonna spend money on a fucking console, dude. You want it to look cool in your house because that's gonna be like a $600 thing. It's not gonna be cheap. So I
think it looks like the Avengers in the Quantum Realm.
Yeah, it looks fucking super cool, bro. I really liked it. Yeah.
By the way, you were talking about Unreal Engine. Have you ever seen these real-time green screen shoots that they do with Unreal Engine?
No. What do you mean?
So like you'll have an actor in a studio in a green screen, right? But it's not a green screen. It's actually a green screen that's partially a television screen, like a QLED.
Okay.
And it's connected to a monitor, and that monitor is running back to the camera, and it's tracking like physical space and like the geometry. So the cameraman is looking through the camera. Yeah. The director's looking at a monitor, and behind the actor in the viewfinder is the actual green screen, and it's changing live with him as he moves through it.
Okay.
So instead of taking a green screen, switching it out, and adding shit in,
it's all done in real time.
It's all done in real time.
Oh,
it's really interesting. It's really, and there's even some rear projection technology now with Unreal Engine where the actor's in a space filled with screens.
So they're using Unreal Engine now for movies?
I don't know if it's actually Unreal Engine. It's something that functions similarly to Unreal Engine. It may actually be Unreal Engine, but
I don't think it's Unreal. Unreal Engine is the video game engine. I don't think they're. I think there's cheaper alternatives.
People use Unreal Engine for VFX in videos on like smaller budgets. I've seen it done.
Yeah.
And it's promising sometimes. I've also seen it used for renderings, like at work, like on projects that I work on.
What do you mean?
Like you want to show what the interior of a space is going to look like once it's done, you know?
They'll do it in Unreal.
Yeah, they use Unreal Engine sometimes for some
But there's
reason.
so many cheaper alternatives for that kind of market. I'm surprised that
for photorealism, yeah. Well, you hired the wrong guy and he's a video game nerd. He's like, I can do it using Unreal Engine. But at the same time, it's similar in concept, right? Like it's maybe not called Unreal Engine what they're using. I can't remember it. It's Cinema 4D that shows it all the time. But it's cool. Like you're interacting with a fucking digital space live.
Yeah.
So like there's no reason for an actor to look off and go, oh, nice to see you. And they're like, actually, she's more to the left, you know? Like,
well, they stuffed it because the actor can't see it. It's behind him, right?
But in some of these setups, the actor can see it.
How can he see it?
Because it's not green screen. It's actual fucking screen.
No, but how can the actor see it?
Because it's being displayed live for the actor to see. And it's so high resolution.
No, I know what you're saying. You know what I'm saying is when you're adding stuff, right? Not everything, when you're a movie, not everything is behind the actor. He's looking at the screen like a monologue. He has to actually look at a thing that's not there, no matter what, whether it's done real time.
I'm telling you that there's...
it's not appearing in front of him, is what I'm saying. Even if it's on the screen here to the side, which is behind him, right? It's not appearing in front of him.
What if he's facing the screen and talking to that thing?
Yeah.
That other actor is in the screen. I'm talking about.
Yeah, he's just looking at the screen, but I'm talking about an actual adding stuff, and he still won't have it in front of him. It's not going to magically appear in front of him. This is all done.
That's what you're not understanding. it's not being done after. So you're an actor, okay? You're
Yeah.
looking at a person in front of you and talking to them, and they're
Yeah.
interacting with you live.
Yeah.
And I'm filming that. And now
Yeah.
my footage, you can't differentiate the actor from the footage on the screen in front of him.
Yeah.
That's
What
where
I'm
we're
saying
at.
is I'm not like right now. I'm looking at I'm looking at you on the screen, right?
Right.
If I turn a little bit here and you're gonna add a person here, right now he's not there, and I'm not looking at the screen. So either way, I'm not looking at someone, but you can see him there, but I still can't see him because he's not gonna magically appear in front of me. That's never real. That's never real life. That's always added. Is what I'm saying. You see what I'm saying? Like unless you're looking at the screen, that's the only scenario where you don't need to give him direction. You still need to give him direction because you can't fucking see him. It's not a real thing.
But the screen is all around him.
But even if the screen
environment
is all
the
around him,
screen.
right? Like he's not talking to a distance. Sometimes there's someone in front of you. The screen isn't coming closer, and there's a guy in front of you. You still have to look at it's never. You always need direction. Is what I'm saying.
The actor is standing on a treadmill that goes just like VR that
Yeah.
can make him feel like he's walking in any direction naturally, and the camera's shaking a bit. It can feel like he's approaching something.
It could. What I'm saying is, it's never actually going to be there. It's never actually there.
It's on a screen somewhere. Yeah.
But that's why they still have direct, and that's to be like, no, he's actually closer, bro. Look down a bit. You know. Because the screen is always going to be where the screen is. Huh?
We've lost each other somewhere.
I believe
how
so.
This works.
Poseidon, have you been lost too?
I've been lost from the moment you guys started arguing about this. I'm just watching you both argue.
We're not arguing. We're having a conversation. Mommy and Daddy aren't fighting. Stop it.
Yeah, I thought you were listening, you piece of garbage.
But I was confused.
Poseidon, give us your take on the PS5 reveal.
Very exciting. I like it.
Oh my. Okay, so simpleton reviews. Is that it? That's all you gotta say.
I mean, nothing's come out yet. No games. We haven't seen gameplay or anything on it.
What are you talking about? They showed 12 games, and 8 of them had gameplay from PS5.
Oh, they did? I didn't see them. So I'm gonna go watch them.
It was a 2-hour reveal.
But I couldn't find the press conference.
Are you joking, Poseidon?
I'm dead serious. I checked YouTube, everything. It was
press
all these
conference. The press conference was not only everywhere, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. It was in every language. There was different streams.
What I'm saying is I didn't watch it live.
But you could find it. You want me to just send you a link? What? Sony's official page. Just go look.
Yeah,
Twitch,
on their official page, because I kept checking on YouTube and I kept finding guys
talking about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but you can do that.
All I would find.
Yeah, but you can also do that now with anything. You can go find guys that are talking about something. But go look at the actual one.
Okay.
Yeah, Gran Turismo, all kinds of shit. It looked amazing.
Oh shit. Okay, I'm gonna watch it now then.
Yeah, it looked. Well, don't watch the whole 2 hours because a lot of shit games. Like I was getting pissed off.
Okay.
Because I just wanted them to show the actual console. Like I know what it can do. They
showed
just
it towards the end.
They did the
I stop
technical.
reading the fucking chat. I get so distracted. I don't even listen to you guys.
They did the technical brief over a month ago. Remember?
Yeah.
So I know we already were told what the console can do, which is already amazing. So now show us the fucking console. And I knew they weren't going to show price. I said it last week. It's impossible for them to show price right now because they have to see what Microsoft's going to do first.
Yeah.
They don't want to go too high. Both of them are fucked, because parts are expensive now. So if they want to charge fairly, if they want to not lose money, they have to make the consoles expensive. But they're scared if the other one takes a hit. They're like, you know what? We're going to undercut them so we can get market share and sell games. Take a loss on the console like the PS3 did. And the 360 did too, I think.
No, the PS4 took a loss.
Oh, yeah. The PS4 took a loss.
In the beginning.
Because they did what 360 did. 360 took a loss in the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, 360, that was smart, bro. $700 for a PlayStation. Xbox, like, okay, $299.
How much is the PS5, by the way?
They haven't. That's what we were discussing. We were just discussing it now. Yeah.
I've seen some people say 800, some people 500, some people 450.
If you look at the specs and you look at how similar computers are going now, it would be a miracle if it's under $800.
Honestly, the PS5 fucked me because it delayed release of Sony cameras because they had to use the GPUs because of the shortage due to COVID for the PS5. So like, I'm waiting for fucking releases on cameras and the PS5 is coming out. Yeah, like. The camera I shoot on came out 5 years ago. It's still a great camera, but I'm waiting for the next version. And it's become this like ongoing joke that Sony's just never going to release it. And they were geared to release it a couple of months ago, it seemed like. And then Sony came out and said, we're delaying all Sony Alpha launches because we have a shortage for the parts we need to make GPUs. and we're going to reserve all of that available stock for the PS5 because that's the real money maker. It's not a fucking camera. I'm sure they make money off their cameras.
I heard they make. I asked Harry about this because I was like, "Are you excited? Are you going to spend money on stocks for the PS5?" He goes, "Well, actually, it doesn't really move the needle. They don't actually make their money off that." And I think he had sent me something. I think where they make their money is they make a certain chip for TVs or some shit, like a proprietary thing. So that's where. Right. Yeah, they don't. Their
either way, they're all split, right? The Sony is not one main company. It's not Sony Entertainment.
The stock is one.
Split
though.
Into the.
They have one stock. They have one,
really?
For the company, and then
I know
they're all
that the companies were split though.
Well, the companies have never. I mean, they're all different parts, right? There's Sony Interactive Entertainment. Obviously, the guy building a TV is not going to be the same guy developing a video game. They're all different departments, but the stock price is one.
But I remember reading recently that they actually split off completely into a separate entity for the division that makes cameras from the rest of Sony.
But not it's split division, but it's not a.
No, not even split divisions. Like it's another company now. It's probably affiliated somehow, so I don't know how their stock is affected. I'd have to look into it.
Yeah, it's still Sony. I mean, it's never independent.
It's technically still Sony, yeah.
Yeah, it's still like
it's all a way to.
Video games have always been like that. Big video game companies have different studios, but it's still the same thing. Like you buy one stock for EA, for example, and you don't buy one for Redwood, you don't buy one for Montreal. It's one overall arching company that owns it all. Because I don't know why Sony they make money off cameras. Why would they give up?
They do, of course they do.
Yeah, why would they give that up?
Oh, I'm not saying they gave it up. They split something. I don't know the details. It seemed like I knew more about it when I first started talking about it, but I didn't, I guess.
I was gonna ask you about cameras because you buy cameras. So let's say you're excited for a new camera, right? Like you just said.
Very excited. I want a new camera.
Okay, why? Explain. Why? Yeah, because like I understand a bit for like let's say microphones or for like software. Like I understand my world why I would get something, like what the upgrades are, what the new features are. But what would prompt you to spend money? What does the new camera have that yours doesn't? That's not just cool features. That's something that like okay, this is useful.
Oh, okay. Well, there's lifetime shutters. Lifetime shutter.
What does that do?
Like my camera. Excuse me.
Oh, the actual shutter, you mean?
I mean, like after a certain amount of clicks or hours recorded, a camera starts to, like any piece of technology, right? It's been 5 years. I use it to
slow down
all the fucking time. It doesn't slow down, but one day it will go to the big camera bin in the sky, right? It'll just stop one day. And I was unlucky with this camera. In the first month that I had it, I had a fatal, like critical glitch with the camera system. And I had to return it to Sony for like 3 months to be repaired. But new features, they're talking about internal 8K recording. 8K seems silly and almost banal. Like,
what does internal 8K recording mean? That you just save it on the SD?
Like you don't need an external device to then output where you can record 8K.
Oh, the camera itself records an 8K file for fucking 150 gigs. And then
or whatever, yeah. And it's not like I output 8K, like, but 8K. You see what we do with this just thing. I shoot in 4K, and it makes it feel like we're shooting on 3 cameras.
Yeah. Because
I output 1080. If we had 8K, I could punch in for those really interesting baby blue Pantelis eyes when you make a crazy face, and it would be crystal clear, super sharp, right?
How heavy is that?
How heavy?
Yeah, like memory wise.
It's heavy. Like an episode of just thing in 4K at 422 is like. I don't know. Like the raw file is somewhere between 18 and 22 gigabytes, right?
Okay.
When we're done.
That's a lot, bro. For 20 minutes.
It's a lot, yeah. 8K would probably be 1.5 to 2.5 times that. I'm not exactly sure. I haven't worked with 8K much. But another thing that I'm looking forward to is like high frame rates, like slow-mo capabilities in 4K. Because right now I'm only doing it in 1080, so when we do slow motion, I can punch in.
So I have a question about the slow motion. So I've noticed that when you want to do slow motion, you record in slow motion. You don't record regularly and then in post make it slow motion.
So what you do, if you want true slow motion, not some kind of weird digital artifact effect of slow motion, you decide like, okay, all of our timelines I'll use this just thing as the point of reference. Okay. All of our timelines for that show is projected in its final form in 23.98 frames per second.
Okay.
Like most films and a lot of TV. If you shoot higher frame rates than 23.98 and then you normalize to 23.98, it becomes slow. The higher the frame rate, the slower the motion because you're capturing more, right? You're getting more frames.
So you film
So
with more frames per second, so then you could
film
slow it
more
down.
frames so that you can show them. You can stretch the. Think about it like an elastic, right? If your timeline is this big, like this thick, let's say, and you shoot at the same thickness,
Yeah.
well, you can only play back that way, or you can crush it to make it go faster, right? Because time is linear. But if you can stretch it out and there's information in there, you're seeing more of this motion. It's not actually slow. You're just seeing more of it over the same course of time, and that creates the effect of slow motion. They used to do this with film cameras in the early days of film too. Like if they wanted something to go slow, they would crank the camera faster. If they wanted to go fast, they would crank it slower, and then you crush it into that space. It's actually not a complex procedure, but until you fully wrap your mind around how all editing is linear, it's hard to really understand. So, long story long, more frames, you can get more slow motion. So
And it
when we
looks
shoot
better to
60,
slow motion.
yeah, but you also have to adjust other factors. Like you can't just up the frame rate. Like there's other things you need to do. More frames means it's open. The shutter is open less time, right? So you need more light. You need a faster shutter, or it's blurry and it looks like shit. There's a lot of things to take into account to do real good slow motion. Some of the lower end cameras that do good slow-mo, they adjust all that automatically for you, like the Osmo or the GoPro and stuff like that.
So I have a story that I want to talk to you guys about. I was going to talk to with my Pantelis podcast guest yesterday, Alex Jones, but he had to cancel, so we have to do it another time.
Wait,
so
what?
I'll tell you guys.
So casual.
Fox News. I felt violated. Police search Baltimore County house over BB gun in virtual class. So essentially, what happened in Baltimore?
What?
So kids are taking virtual classes now with their teachers, right? Because of COVID-19.
Yeah.
So
OnlyFans. Yeah.
So this happened June 10th. So a kid was with his teacher, and she looked behind him, and the kid has a BB gun, all legal shit, like it's all toys and stuff behind him. And the teacher called the cops and the principal, and they went and forcibly went into the house and looked around everywhere to take the kid's shit. The kid's like an Eagle Scout. So his pursuit of becoming an Eagle Scout, he does what they tell him to, you know. So he had all the stuff, bow and arrows, all that shit. So they fucking basically went in and harassed the fucking kid. And they're like, I had no idea what to think. I've never been in any legal trouble whatsoever. I've never heard any negative encounter with law enforcement. The mom was saying, I don't know. I was shocked. She goes, I don't know what the fuck to do. I didn't really know what to think. So they searched the home after she answered the door, and then all this stuff happened. And then they found out
This is a great
school
story.
safety contacted police because the weapon was not secured. It's a BB gun. He doesn't have to secure it in a safe.
Did they know it was a BB gun though?
Let's see. Oh shit. They counted it because he's in a virtual class. The school said, well, this is technically like he brought a weapon to school. So they're really stretching. Like the school is fucking reaching. So then the mom said there's no more trust. This has just been a series of lies and just no cooperation with the police and with the school, apparently. So there's a lot of fuckery afoot. So even the police, instead of being like, even the police was trying to stretch it a bit. And it was pissing people. Basically the teacher swatted, like Mental Funeral said, swatted the kid for something that was in his room. You know, it would be like right now the cops come over and like, yeah, we heard that you have a dog hung on your wall. I want to check in for animal cruelty.
But look, I get the teacher being concerned if they saw a firearm, but like call the kid's parents and ask.
Yeah, exactly. But the way they made
assume that they're not idiots.
But also trying to still, when you're wrong, trying to still get the kid in trouble because you go the fact that he had it in the background and we're in a class, virtual class. It's like he's bringing a gun to school. That is psychotic. That's you not admitting you're wrong. That's all that is. We lost Phil again.
Still there.
I'm just messing with you this time. I'm still here.
You little.
So,
you're naughty. You're teasing me.
Yeah. So, we. How fucked is that, dude? What an invasion! I would sue the fuck out of that school.
Oh yeah, 100%.
There's a million other ways. Like, on the one hand, I'm glad that the teacher was concerned enough to worry. But on the other hand, one, he didn't bring a gun to school. That's not a fucking school. It's an online environment. He's not gonna digital shoot anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, even if he did.
Here's what mind fucks me. Is how did they get a warrant for this shit to search the house? Did the parents just let them search the fucking house?
I think the parents may have let them. Let me take a look.
Nah, bro, idiots.
Just because the woman was.
I think when a minor is involved, if a person from an educational institution, like sets off that flag, I think they're allowed certain. They have privileges. I'm not sure. It depends on the state. It depends on the laws in that state.
He's in 5th grade. He's an 11-year-old, by the way.
He's 11. Okay. Kid wants to be a fucking Eagle Scout, man.
Let's see. I thought this is outrageous. This is despicable, she said. I had no idea what in the world could this be over because apparently they were being aggressive with her. BB guns never even once entered my mind. How many 11-year-old boys have BB guns? Because they all do, apparently. He's like a scout. He goes out, he plays. Like, it's like a common thing. The police officer, he was very nice. He explained to me that he was coming to address an issue with my son's school. So she's like, I don't understand what he did. And then explained to me that they were here to search for weapons in my home. And I consented to letting him in. And then I, unfortunately, stood there and watched police officers enter my 11-year-old son's bedroom. And she was fucking outraged. Like, what the fuck are they doing? According to emails Courtney later exchanged with the school administrator, a screenshot was taken during the online class. The principal of Seneca Elementary was notified. Courtney says she was told the school safety officer then called the police. So they actually discussed all this amongst themselves at school. That's the other reason why it's outrageous.
Why did they call the parents?
And then they called exactly. That's why she's like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
So weird.
Oh, wow. Because the weapon was not secured. So they knew it was a BB gun. They knew it wasn't a real gun. They just said that it should be secured or some shit. Like as if it's neglectful parents. Like they're letting the kid shoot it. But it was secured on the wall. Like the guy had the kid had it on a rack.
That's a weird fucking story.
Yeah. It's
I don't know that I'm actually mad about it. I just
who are on these calls? Who do we have viewing your children and subsequently taking these screenshots? Yeah, that is weird. Taking a screenshot of my kid in his room. Bro, the person who took that screenshot, you know what kind of beating they would fucking get? You fucking pervert. You're taking screenshots of my kids, bro. Are you fucking joking?
They didn't screenshot it because they were a pervert.
I don't care. I don't give a shit why you screenshot it. If right now you're out with the camera, you're taking pictures of chicks you're like, it's just your dress that I like. Get the fuck out of here, bro. What are you kidding me? You know what kind of beating you're going to get? Taking a screenshot of a child in his room? I don't care if you're going to jerk off to it later or not. You don't do that shit.
Yeah.
Because they're trusting you, right? They're trusting these teachers in these schools with their kids. You can't then invade the kid's privacy, take a picture of the kid in his room, and share it with other adults, and be like, "Look at that! That's fucking creepy, dude."
I don't know that I'm with you there. That seems like a stretch.
What do you mean?
In this specific instance?
Okay, right now your daughter's doing a virtual class. They're taking screenshots of your house and your daughter in it, and they're sharing amongst us. And they come and they go, "Yeah, you know that 1701 poster, 1501 poster that you have on the wall, it's kind of violent. We just want to send the police over to just talk about it, seeing why is that on there, like what does that mean, the blood or whatever the fuck." You're telling me you wouldn't feel violated that there's screenshots of your daughter that they're sharing amongst each other to discuss her background?
I guess.
I would be fucking furious if they were even discussing dinosaurs behind her. I'd be like, wait, another adult has a screenshot of my daughter in her room? You fucking joking?
Yeah, you're right.
You fucking, I don't care what you're discussing. You call me if there's a real problem, but you never did. You're sharing the image with each other and then you call the cops.
That's fuck is this? That they never called.
Yeah, fucking no. It's fucking you. The problem, Phil, is if you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. The second you say that's cool, then you're allowed. Okay, we're gonna take other screenshots too in case we find something weird or fuck. You're taking screenshots of my kid? Are you crazy?
That's only for her FBI agent.
Who's watching? Yeah. It's super creepy. It's so
fucked.
That's pretty creepy. Because you never consented to that. You never consented to them taking screenshots of your kids on these online classes, right? And remember how they were talking about Zoom? It's dangerous. What if people get in and show their dicks or whatever? Remember? People were outraged. Like, imagine a stranger comes in and shows you something you don't want to see. And you don't think it's just as outrageous if someone is recording you without your knowledge? It's crazy. Especially kids.
I see what you mean.
Yeah, especially kids, dude, recording, because you give them the opportunity. The second you let that in, let's say they all have recordings. Let's say they're like, okay, you were allowed to record your kid. Now they have hours from classrooms of your kid in her room being recorded. And
it's fucked. The whole concept of it is fucked.
It's super Orwellian, creepy shit. I don't like that stuff.
It's pretty creepy.
And again, let's say if it was like the mom or the dad comes in and starts beating the shit out of the kid, right? You're like, all right, police, look, I don't want to invade people's privacy, but this kid's getting abused. Let's talk about it. You know what I mean? But in this case, it's like, yeah, it's a BB gun. Look at this. It's a BB gun, right? Yeah, I think so.
Can I just randomly segue? So I just fell upon possibly the most polite of your fans.
Oh.
Okay, somebody shared, I won't give out their screen name now, but somebody shared that we were live on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
And they wrote, it's pretty funny. Hold on. They write, "The morning show. 3 wise men from Montreal discuss all things anarchy and video cam connectivity." So I answered earlier. I'm like, solid burn. Like, super solid. And he's like, "I'm sorry, did I offend you?" And I was like, no, not at all. It was a good burn. I'm a video guy. I shouldn't be having video issues. Like I just so I'm.
You
like,
took it
I
as a
can
burn,
feel-
you fucking pussy.
What?
That's not a burn.
It's a good burn for me because I'm ashamed of myself. That's what it is. It's
Oh.
a self burn. Like my camera should not be going. Poseidon's camera has been on the entire time.
Yeah,
My
much to
camera
the
looks good.
dismay of our
And it
viewers.
looks excellent. Yeah, you're disgusting, but the camera feed looks great.
Poseidon, you have your
Again,
lights
I'm
on, eh?
screenshotting it. Screenshot. Yes, got it.
You got me doing this, bro.
Yeah, keep doing it so I can get some more, you dummy.
So-
Go.
I got it.
Poseidon, you know where the Mike Ward painting is?
Yes.
You know, on the wall on top of it, it looks like on the other side, that black thing. Did that used to be a light? What is that?
Oh no, that's a sprinkler.
Yeah, it's a sprinkler.
Oh, okay. So by the way, the sprinklers that I have too in my house, I always wonder. I think I have in here too. Yeah, there's up there 2 of them. So essentially, if there's a big fire and the sprinklers start going off, if they go off by accident, and they destroy everything in my house,
Yeah.
No, they're heat censored, so they
Can I
have
sue them?
something. Yes, but there's a mechanism. I learned about this because I asked the lady in the
I'm
building.
very curious. Yeah.
They have this thing on them that senses the fire or kind of melts when there's the fire that gets close, and that's what activates the sprinkler.
Yeah, they're not smoke activated.
Okay.
There's
Yeah, exactly. So you can.
They have to have a certain
small-
level of heat. Okay.
of heat, and I think something has to melt,
Melt,
on
okay.
them for them to activate.
That's why in movies they take the lighter and they go up to it for
Yeah.
a while.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
base science on movies. Good idea.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah. But
evidently
he's right,
it's working
though.
out.
There's an alloy that reacts to heat, and once that gets broken or melted or whatever, disconnected, it goes off.
Because I always
'Cause
wonder about
I
that.
have them also. I had inquired. I'm like, I have a lot of gear in this closet, and there's a sprinkler in it. Should I be concerned?
Well, you know what they did last week here, and they woke me up at early in the morning. It was like 8 o'clock in the morning or some shit, and it was just the fire alarm starts ringing. Okay, they were doing tests. Now, in my house, the fire alarm rings like in the living room. There's the speaker box, and it's on the wall, and it goes in my house like I'm in a fucking science lab. Okay, so I'm fucking freaking out. The dog's fucking shaking, going crazy. My girlfriend's like, "What the fuck's going on?" And the dog is terrified now. She's like, "Oh shit, this is it. We're done." And then banging on the. Bro, banging on the door, bro. Banging on the door. So I'm about to kill someone. Yeah, I open the door. The woman comes in, the landlord lady, and she's like, I just check in with her mask. Just barges in, just checking the fire alarms, goes in, pushes a button on the fire alarm with a broom, and then fucks off. It's like, what? There's got to be a better fucking system, bro. There's got to be a less invasive, aggressive fucking system than
How big is your building?
It's 10 floors.
10 floors. Yeah, that's a dumb system. So
They do it floor. They do it floor by floor. Apparently, they activate it floor by floor,
Yeah,
and they do
so
that.
we get an email. The fire department sets up like 3-4 days in a row, and we're
Yeah.
notified that during this time, on this date, between like 1 and 3,
Exactly.
you'll probably hear intermittent.
So I got a letter
Whatever,
weeks ago that said same type of thing, right? Between this hour and
okay.
that's not what happened though. It wasn't
Oh,
between.
okay.
First of all, I think the letter even said that it was in the afternoon or some shit, like 9 or something. They came way before 9, like an
And
hour
there was
before
no
9.
lady in a broom mentioned.
Yeah, there was no lady in a broom mentioned, and it was very like, just psychotic. And I was like, what the fuck? There's got to be a better way to do this, man. This is fucking like some.
There isn't actually, because they're all on the same circuit per floor, so they have to test them in sequence.
No, but you
'Cause I
could be
had
like,
a-
all right,
it's
guys, in
annoying.
20 minutes we're activating this shit. So if you want, like, if you have a dog that has PTSD, for example,
Take it for a walk.
take it for a walk.
Yeah.
Not while you're sleeping in bed. Everyone thinks that fucking the race war has gone to a new level.
I love before where I live, like, because I'm in a condo also. Across from me, there's another condo building. Now they've built townhouses between us, so I don't get to enjoy this
Outhouses?
as much. Sorry?
Outhouses.
Townhouses.
Same.
Like the semi-detached townhouses. Like, it's blocked my view of the other building. But once they had a fire, like a very small fire, and the alarm went off, actually went off.
And you can hear it.
One, I can hear it. Two, it was late at night, and it's like very Hitchcock Rear Window.
You
right?
see
We're
the
looking-
lights.
And all the lights in the different units are just going off. And
That's
my wife's
funny.
like, what are you doing? I'm like, hang on. And I just start playing Naive Melody by like the Talking Heads, like doot, 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 doot. It was fucking fantastic. You're just watching the lights go off. She's like, it's a weird thing to do. I'm going back in. But like, I miss seeing that. It was so weird. I don't know how that was relevant. I just had a weird fucking memory
You mean
flash.
the lights going off? How is that relevant? Or
Yeah, because you're hearing the sirens go off, but you also get to see the entire building's alarm go off because it's visual also. Like, it's a white light that flashes. And it's just like, it looks like a fucking movie, like a music video, just flashing in different units all the time. It was interesting. I don't
But
know. Whatever.
little segue, because before when you said townhouse and Pantelis said outhouse, I remembered one of the dumbest things I saw during this pandemic
Okay,
is
cool.
they basically closed in the States some parts. They closed public bathrooms.
Here too.
Yeah.
Okay, and outside of the public bathrooms, they installed those little outhouses.
Like porta potties.
Yeah,
How are those better?
exactly. One of the dumbest things I've seen. I don't know how that popped into my head. That image just popped into my head. That's stupidity.
Unless they were the ones that have the UV lights built into them, and because some of them are built for like labs and stuff, so it's an outhouse, it's a porta potty, I mean, but it has UV light, so every time someone uses it, it completely disinfects inside. I've seen them in France.
You tell me
also.
UV light.
I doubt they were.
Are you telling me UV light can
like
disinfect? Is that what you're
Not
telling me?
actual, it's not UV light. It's some kind of it's light of some kind. Maybe it's UV light. I don't remember.
Because when Trump said it a month and a half ago, they said it was crazy.
Well, yeah, but Trump thought we could colonoscopy UV light into all of us and burn it out of us.
Oh,
That's
but
it
what
seemed like
he
he was
said, by the
suggesting.
way, this is another fucked up thing. You know, give credit where credit is due. It's an actual thing. I didn't know. They actually
What?
do that. They put UV light inside you. They with tubes and shit like that. Yeah, there's all kind. Dude, science.
See, now you're
Whatever
That
we
is
think.
real, I stand corrected.
Yeah, whatever we think like. You know how much shit I'm seeing now that science is working on, and I'm like, that is science fiction, bro. That's not science. Like, no, we're working on it. Like anything. Yeah.
The second the virus became headline news,
But
I'm
apparently it
like,
doesn't-
where are the where's the nanotech? Like
Yeah.
to protect us? Where is it?
They're working. So what I think happened with Trump is I think he hears all this shit. Like people tell him what they're working on, and he
Not a
tries to regurgitate it as best as
Yeah.
he can. You know.
Like we do.
Yeah, like we do. Like imagine me now talking about something super scientific. You know, I'm trying my best,
I
but
just
it's
tried.
coming out retarded. You know, it's
It's like light, bro. I don't know. It's like UV light or something cleans and shit. I don't
yeah,
know.
because like what the fuck? And then I
Yeah.
found out I was like, no, of course they're doing that. And there's this whole science behind. I was like, get the fuck out of here. I even found out it's kind of related. You know, you ever heard of so you know how people do cleansing? Like they'll take teas and stuff and they'll clean their colons.
Yeah.
You know that you can go to places where they put tubes up your asshole and they wash it out. Okay.
Yeah, they got a douche.
No, bro. Pounds.
What a douche is.
There are pounds of shit stuck inside your colon.
I don't doubt
The
it.
woman who has the record, Poseidon, if you want, check this out. Check a record for, I guess, colon cleansing or some shit. I think 11 or 14 pounds came out of this, bro.
Do it in incognito mode for sure. In incognito mode, or you're gonna get killed on targeted ads.
What?
Yeah. You
That's a
lose
lot
weight
of
when you do
shit.
it, and you feel a lot better because the stuff gets stuck. You know, different
How do
types
they
of stuff.
do it?
Huh? It's high pressure water up your colon.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and it just. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds not pleasant.
Apparently, it seems not
At all.
pleasant. Then when you start it, you're like, I can never go back. This is great. I'm scared to do it though. It feels
I was
very
once on-
violating. Like, is there a guy looking at my asshole the whole time? Like, how does this work?
I was once on vacation.
Poseidon,
and
Google that shit. Let's go.
I was
Hold on.
taking a shower, and the shower had, the kind of shower head that you can take down,
It's called a European shower head, sir.
a telephone shower head.
Yeah.
So I'm washing myself, and I like these because you don't have to achieve some kind of state of nirvana to clean your asshole. You can just fucking clean your asshole, No yoga poses necessary.
Yeah.
But it wasn't home. I was at another place. I had never used it before, and the front, the shower head, falls off because it wasn't screwed on right, and I get like a straight jet of water up my ass.
How good
I
that
don't
feel?
care what you say. It did not feel good at all.
Oh,
was
well.
very violent.
Maybe they suck it out. I don't know.
I don't fucking
I heard it
know.
was water though.
Sounds like a 1980s abortion the way you're describing it.
Look at Poseidon's face.
Okay. Colon cleansing with colon irrigation. Colon irrigations work somewhat like an enema, but they involve much more water. While you lie on a table, a low pressure or a gravity-based reservoir flushes several gallons of water through a small tube inserted into your rectum.
It's pronounced asshole.
No, the rectum is after the asshole.
Yeah. But I mean, I just found something else. There's actually foods that
Help you.
do colon cleansing.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
not as
that's
good
what
as
you're
this.
saying, Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Dark
what I was
leafy
saying.
greens.
Most leafy greens will clear you right out.
Yeah.
Yeah, milk, raspberries, oatmeal, which is
Milk?
which
Yeah,
explains
milk. Dude,
why
you get
when I
enough
eat-
milk in you, bro, you are shitting. One time I tried to eat an entire tub of ice cream, and I lost weight shitting.
Oh, but that explains why when I go to Dairy Queen,
You
Man,
suck
I get
dudes'
shits-
dicks.
No. Like, 30 minutes later, just
Yo, you're lactose intolerant, Poseidon.
Yo, 30 seconds later, bro, I am
If
down
it's
there
30
blowing
minutes,
no,
dudes.
no, 30
actually,
minutes.
if it's
30
actually
minutes.
30 minutes, you're probably lactose intolerant.
You think so?
I am, like, severely. I had been tested for it as a kid.
Well, I
'cause
ate cheese this morning.
Cheese, bro.
certain kinds of cheese don't have as much lactose, like harder cheeses,
Really?
mozzarella. Yeah. So like certain cheeses, I'll still take a lactate just to be safe, but it's fine.
You know you are, bro. You're a tsisi breezy, bro.
I am cheesy
But
breezy, bro. I
this
make the
only-
cheese shit from the butthole. It's like
But this-
explosion of fun.
You're
This only
tsisi
happens-
breezy, beautiful covered cheese.
This only
What?
happens with Dairy Queen. As soon as I have Dairy Queen, 30 minutes later, like evacuation complete.
Pantelis might be. Sorry, I spoke your true name. It's not allowed on the internet.
What's my true name?
I called you Padeli instead of
Uh,
Pantelis.
It's the same name, different
Yeah, I know,
pronunciation.
but people get really confused when I do it. They're like, "Which guy?"
Oh, really?
Like, oh, Pantelis. They're like, "Oh, Pantelis," because you said something ethnic and scary.
Yeah, I don't like
Uh,
it.
But Pants might be right. It might be the gay sex you're having a Dairy Queen that's
Yeah,
causing your ass to explode after.
It might hurt your anus.
It's weird that
Also,
it
when I
takes
eat-
30 minutes.
Also,
Yeah.
when I eat the spinach and stuff like that.
That's
No,
omega
it's
3.
honestly colon cleansing. I don't know about the machine one, but apparently that's good for you too. But in general,
seems like it
eating
makes
stuff that
sense.
clears your system is very good for you. Besides, once in a while,
For sure.
doing a cleanse, like I think for like 2-3 days, all you do is drink like these teas or whatever, and then you let your body exfoliate or whatever the fuck it says. You get rid of
Exfoliate.
you get rid of toxins in your skins and through your asshole. Apparently, to do that once in a while is good for you.
Seems like it would be. Like just
Yeah.
like a car, you get clean out the oils,
Yeah,
get all
yeah.
the junk out.
Yeah.
Makes sense. How did we go from Black Lives Matter to colon cleansing in like a span of 2 hours?
Because every life needs a good cleansing. Like they all need to take care of themselves. Black, white, you gotta take care of your rectum. Clean that shit out.
Poseidon. This is going right over Poseidon's head, but that's
I
gold.
forgot where I
That's
parked
fucking
my car.
gold.
What?
I forgot where I parked my car.
Speaking of cleansing, can we just kill his camera feed?
Forgot where I parked my car. Anyways, Poseidon, like Phil brought up, I don't know why Phil went to black people, but it's definitely not a race thing. Everybody needs to cleanse their assholes. Apparently, it's a
What is this? What is this fucking long form joke of trying to make it sound like I don't like black people?
I didn't. I'm just saying because you brought it up. I didn't even think about like if I think it's men. I think everyone can do it.
I didn't bring it up. I did not bring it up. I said we started there and we're here.
Oh.
Social change. Now we're talking about assholes.
Oh yeah. Well, it's the same thing.
Oh,
This is the same topic. So yeah, Poseidon.
I'm gonna get doxxed.
Do we have that in Montreal?
Black people? Yeah, we have black people in Montreal, man.
God damn it.
Cleansing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. You go downtown and you go a little east.
No, for real. Check online, you dipshit.
What? You think you're so clever, Poseidon? You
Yeah.
think you're so fucking clever, huh?
Check online.
Yeah.
I'm curious if we have a place like that online. Just check.
I'll find you a nice clinic where you can clean your ass.
You're telling me, Poseidon, you wouldn't do this? If I pay for it, I'll do it. All I want to know is how does it feel? I just want them to
Bro,
tell me.
if I can lose 14 pounds like that lady,
Yeah.
fuck yeah, I'll do
That's what I'm saying. You also feel a lot better. You feel lighter. Because I guarantee, I know the stuff you eat, Poseidon. It's mostly
I found a
frozen
place.
pizzas and shit. You're gonna you have stuff stuck in there, bro, since fucking 1997.
Oh, probably, bro.
Yeah.
I found a lot of places.
Hydrotherapy, Montreal.
Hydrotherapy, du Sicochen. This is not a sponsored. This isn't Point Calumet. That's too far.
That's too far.
Yeah,
Also,
what's this one?
Another positive.
Park
from this-
Avenue. Guys, I found one. Park Avenue.
What? Where?
And they're open till 7:30 tonight. Stay home if you feel unwell. If you have fever, we won't do it. Oh, that makes sense.
I don't have fever. I just I-
5-star ratings, guys. Received
Oh
colonic
wow.
from Mila. Felt lighter and regained my energy.
from
I
Mila.
also do massages by someone named Antonina. This sounds like a rub and tug.
What? Wait, no. I don't want people licking my asshole, bro. I mean, I was talking about wait, fucking
Oh,
Phil. I found one on Park Avenue.
Colon
Another-
cleanse. Salad toss? No. Colon cleanse.
Yeah,
Salad
I will cleanse it.
Another
with my
positive
fist.
from this.
Um,
Another positive from this is I might beat a world record. Because the world
Oh,
record
yeah.
was like 14 pounds,
yeah.
bro. And that was a woman. Imagine me, bro.
We'll put a GoPro on you, man.
How funny
colon
would that be,
cleansing of a
Poseidon?
simpleton.
Breaks the world record. First person to get 14 pounds of shit removed from his anus while blowing the masseuse. The boy is ambidextrous.
I had to do it. He said if we broke the seal, we'd lose pressure.
So Poseidon, they don't suck it out. They just keep shooting water up your asshole.
Yeah, basically. Which I don't know. It's making.
Does
me
it
like
hurt though?
fucking
Is how big is this
shiver.
tube? Me, that's what I'm scared of. Is something going up my
They
ass?
said
Sounds like it'll hurt.
When Poseidon read that thing, he said it's a negative pressure, a gravity thing, right? So it's like an IV. The weight of the water is just.
So wait, so I lay on my back basically?
I assume so. I don't know.
Where does the shit go then?
Onto the table.
No, Poseidon. Yeah, where does this shit go?
Well, guys, ever tried a sinus rinse? You know where you put water up one side of your nose?
No.
Where does the fuck? Really?
Why you have two
That's
assholes? You?
different, though. That's different because
Life-changing.
you're above the sink.
Yeah, but
That's
also
what
you have
you're
two
doing.
assholes. You're telling me?
What are you talking about? Oh, no. It's all one
Yeah.
cavity.
Yeah.
Look, just because there's two holes, it's still one cavity, the sinus, right?
Yeah,
In the
yeah.
Yeah,
front?
but the asshole is one hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll come out of the same hole it's going into.
Poseidon, they jack the pressure so high that you just vomit.
You make a good point. Where is it coming out
Yeah,
from?
yeah.
No,
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Poseidon, you're gonna have to go and do this, and
Unless you know what it is, they
gonna
pressure it
have-
so much it gets unclogged, and then it comes closer, and then
when
you have
they
to go take a
pull it-
shit.
but maybe
Oh,
when
you
you
think
pull
that's
out,
what it is?
Maybe it just unclogs it.
It unclogs and then you gotta okay.
it loosens.
That's actually very logical.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
The only thing I'm
loosens it,
thinking
and
of,
then-
and no one's commented on it yet, so it might not be true. I'm thinking about it, and it's making my ass
being
hurt.
very quiet.
Is will your
People are-
asshole hurt?
I don't think so. It's water.
But how big is this tube?
Look, obviously, if they jam a fucking, if
It's
they go-
ethnicity.
No, they're not fisting
know?
your asshole, Poseidon. What are you doing?
Yeah, exactly. But if they put in a little
Bro,
tube
if they're
like that,
fucking,
I doubt it's gonna
bro,
hurt.
if they treat your asshole like a vampire and they fucking put a stake through,
But if they treat it like a lady and they take it in the wine and dine it, it'll be fine.
Bro, if they think they're Buffy and I'm a goddamn vampire and my asshole where my heart is, then we got trouble, bro.
I feel like everyone left.
Oh, they're just upset.
It's just so quiet in the chat.
Well, yeah, because they're
Oh, no.
listening to this asshole stuff.
Oh no, they're not. They're talking. It was just frozen.
Oh yeah, they're all funny. Drano
In bed
does a
with
great
Poseidon.
job.
That's what we're doing. In bed with Poseidon later
Yeah.
today. Get the tubes.
Yes, of
I'll
course.
bring you a bag.
Oh, In Bed with Poseidon, 4 p.m. on Patreon. By the way, I forgot to mention, I keep, apparently, even though I think I'm good at self-promotion, people tell me you're not good at self-promotion, you keep forgetting to mention that shit when you should. Patreon.com/Pantelis. Get exclusive videos, exclusive podcasts. You also get access to possibility, if you're on boss status or beyond, of winning shirts. Even though the description in Patreon is a lie. The one shirt a month is a complete lie because I just shipped out 10 shirts last week. And
you didn't.
I do about that same average almost every month. So so I've already sent out way more than I should for the entire year. So it's I guess one minimum. Is that more accurate? I don't know. Basically, we're telling you one thing, but we're giving you way more. So join the Patreon. Let's see here. What are they-
I just read the best comment.
What was it?
Is Phil Pantelis' Bert?
Like Bert and Ernie?
Like Bert Kreischer, I think.
Oh, that's funny. Like you're
That's
just
funny, man. I'm just gonna stop wearing a shirt on this show.
yeah, go shirtless. Or maybe it's
Yeah.
Bert and Ernie. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe. But
Dudes,
wouldn't you be
What
Bert?
were we saying?
I don't know. Whatever.
Point
What-
is, you
get
go
on
there.
Pantelis Patreon.
Yeah, and go to Patreon. Don't forget to sign up over there. And the Discord. So the beauty of the Patreon is also that all these people are meeting each other on Discord. I have now relinquished my authority on Discord. I have given it to C8455 and Helsan, who are admins on the Discord, because you got to know your limits, and I don't really understand Discord, but these guys know what the fuck they're doing, so, that's why you get all this cool shit on there, like these fucking emojis with our faces on them and stuff. I don't know how to do that shit. They know how to do that shit. Yeah, dude, if you go on the Discord is fucking lit. There's different
I don't even
groups.
know what Discord is.
It's like a chat room, let's say,
Okay.
and you can put video, audio, whatever. But there's like a meme dump on my Discord server where people put memes that they find, like funny memes, and there's always all kinds of cool shit going on. There's Discord, let's say, for people who want to talk about the French cast, and they'll tell me about guests or whatever, and then I'll email those guests and shit like that. There's all kinds of shit happening on Discord.
Like a members only Reddit.
It's kind of like that, yeah. So then they'll talk and they'll be like, what do you do? I don't know, Steve. And then it's like, oh, Steve, I'm fucking Phil. I'm doing this right now. Shit, we're playing the same game online. Fuck it, let's meet up online. We played it. You know what I mean? So it's like,
okay.
yeah, all people in the Pantelis Nation, as it were, that like similar things. And it's fucking really cool. And anyway, so I relinquished my ability to admin. I gave it to 2 guys who actually know what they're doing. Because I figure if you want shit to grow properly and healthy, you have to let the people that know what they're doing be free and do their thing, and they're doing a good job. People seem to like them in the Discord. They're fair, rulers. So yeah, everything's so head to the Discord if you want a link to the Discord. There's one on the panteliscomedy.com, and you also get automatically added with the Pantelis Nation role when you subscribe to any of the tiers on Patreon. So that's what's happening. Phil, when is your next episode of Fill My Hole dropping?
You can join me in the hole. That's my new thing. I think I like it. Every Wednesday. So Tuesday night, late at night, you'll get audio on Spotify and iTunes. And then around 10 a.m. on Wednesdays, you'll see the episode on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all the social medias. Interesting guest this week. I'm not going to give it away, but I have a good guest lined up.
Okay. So panteliscomedy.com, follow my stuff. 2 Drink Minimum comes out live every Tuesday on YouTube and every Wednesday on every podcasting platform. The Poseidon 69 on Instagram and Twitter is where you're going to find Poseidon, the man of the hour, too sweet to be sour. And don't forget, let's see here, if you bought a ticket for Pantelis' show and got refund, go on and join the Patreon show to show your support. Well, that's interesting. So for the last Pantelis show that we had would be the Southern Boys one. So everyone who bought physical tickets was refunded. Helsan is being a little difficult. He's refusing to accept the refund, so we're going to have to force him into it. Everyone else got refunded. And then they're supposed to, at the Leonardo da Vinci Center, they're supposed to refund everyone's credit card purchase when they got back to working. I don't know if they're getting back to working on Monday like everyone else. Or if they already refunded everyone. I'm going to check with Guido if he knows. But yeah, fucking use that money. Join the Patreon. Join the Discord also. Like, you're on the Discord. You get to talk with like-minded people. They'll show you other comedians. They'll show you other fun stuff. The Discord is fun. Now we're at how many? 100-something people talking on Discord? Like, or 200-something? I forgot how much it is on Discord.
A lot. It's a lot, man.
It's a lot more than that.
I'll tell you right now.
Yeah, so there's the Discord's fucking pretty huge.
Just the general page is like almost 200.
Okay, yeah, so yeah, there's a lot of people on the Discord.
Yeah.
It's a fun thing, and you know, people, I noticed that they like different shit, so they get involved, like stuff that I don't know about, you know, like even Poseidon likes that shit because of his video games. Poseidon was thinking about how he's going to implement that. Like, is he going to make a party in a game where you can have like teammates and just get fans of the show and people in Pantelis Nation to be his party?
Is that what it's called officially? It's the Pantelis Nation?
The Pantelis Nation, yeah. Somebody, because we didn't know what to call it, and then someone on Pantelis Live was like, this was a few months ago before we did the Patreon, like, call it Pantelis Nation. And I was like, it sounds too common. Like, I didn't like it. And then it rubbed off on me. I was like, it kind of makes sense. Like,
it's not terrible.
Not terrible, yeah.
It's not Pantalonia, but it's there.
Yeah, Pantalonia is fun for me to say, but it seems like it's more Pantelis Nation just seems.
I just like it because it means pants in Greek.
Me, Pantalonia. Me, I think Pantelis Nation makes me think of like Rock Nation. So to me, it had a very rock and roll vibe. So I was like,
it reminds me of DeFranco Nation.
Is that what he calls it?
Yeah, I think
fuck that pandering buffoon. So yeah, forget that guy. Join the Discord, patreon.com/Pantelis tonight, 4 p.m. Well, it's not really night, but 4 p.m. Poseidon will be live on Patreon in bed with Poseidon. You can ask him all kinds of questions. If you watch the Jofo podcast this week, or if you watch 2 Drink Minimum, you will know that Poseidon has performed snakish fuckery on his friends and they hate him. And you can ask him questions regarding that situation.
Fucking sexual harassment.
Anything we missed?
Balbanos.com if you want my stuff, because I never said where it is, but I think at this point people know.
People know.
People know. They know where I am.
Thank you all for watching, guys.